Alrighty. Hello, 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 everybody. How's it going, folks? Ooh, hold on, let me adjust my levels. It's so good to be back on here. I've been away for a while. Had to take a whole ass cap detox, but I'm back in time for JORRULY. I couldn't miss it. Hold on, let me low down the music. I think we just want a little bit of music. Okay, cool. Yeah, and I'm also using Streamlab OBS now. So, hi, Vast. Oh, yeah, I'll say hi to everybody. But yeah, I just want to say I'm back now. I'm doing better. And yeah, I have a new OBS Streamlab setup thing. So this is really new. And let me know if anything sounds weird or whatever. But yeah, I'll start by saying hi to folks. Hello, Honest. Hi, bestie. Thanks for hanging out. Um, we've got Cookie Whoopie Pie. Good to see you, friend. Slash. Hi, Slash. And Zachy. Good to see you. Good to see you. MySpace Nuggies fan. Breed Seeker. I fucking love that name, Zachy. And hi, Vast. And Kahootin. Thank you so much. Glad to be back. I just needed some time and to chill and not think about all of these fucking losers. But yeah, okay, great. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I do use a Mac, yeah. I like it a lot. It's just, I don't know. What's it called? Steam Labs. That particular app. Hi. That particular app like used so much of my fucking CPU. It was ridiculous. So, uh, excuse me. Now I'm on a new one, and hopefully, well, it seems I've been streaming like in other places, so hopefully, it keeps being really nice on my computer and not being super horrible, though I should probably turn on the fan for it. But yeah, hi. And Perm is here with me. Do you want to listen in and react?
Can you?
No? You don't want to?
No, I will on my computer.
You don't want to sit with me and listen? No. Okay. Never mind. That wasn't. No, it's okay. That wasn't the plan anyway. It's okay. Putting him on the spot. That'd be really cute though. I asked for breeds and all I got was this lousy T-shirt. Oh my gosh, Honest, you did too? I didn't even. Oh man, I missed that stream. I'm so sorry. Did you watch this the video essay series? Because I fucking love this video essay series. It's so good. I think they do a great job of breaking down the psychology of Joran, which I think is funny through his DeviantArt. DeviantArt is a cesspit, as many of you probably know. I mean, people do share good art on there too, but yeah, I'm whatever. DeviantArt has left a scar on my heart. Let's just say, the mac and cheese chat log. Oh fuck yeah, so good. Love mac and cheese. Everybody should just go to Alpha Male Derrick's channel. Anyway, let me put a link in. Let me go to their main channel. One moment, please. Here we go. Can I do that through here? I think I can. Gosh, I am so new at OBS. Even in my other streams, it's been kind of difficult because I'm very confused. But whatever, it's fine. Okay, so I pinned a link to their channel. You should check it out. They have a bunch of amazing stuff. But yeah, Cookie Whoopie Pie said, Joran really brings the community together. He's a gift that keeps on giving. It's true. It's very true. Okay, for everybody that doesn't know who Joran is, Joran is a very weird, creepy man who was briefly in the community and made content, and it was cringeworthy. And not a lot of people watched it, but some people did, and they sort of watched it. They sort of hate-watched him, or like, I don't know, like trolled and watched him. And then after some point, it kind of came out that or more people started to realize how just how creepy he was, and he took advantage of some community members and sexualized them, and yeah, eventually got called out, and then did a hilarious series of apology calls with Wes that I recommend watching. I think I might watch them later. Yeah, I'm like homesick right now. My friends all have COVID. I tested negative, so hopefully I don't test positive later, but I kind of have nothing to do for a while. So yeah, I might stream those later this week as well. And yeah. Hi, Kit Kat Meow. Hello. It's so good to see you. Hi. Okay, we'll get started on a thesis in genealogy, parts 1 through 4. I'm also going to be playing The Sims as always. Oh, right, right. I changed some of this up, so let me adjust the chat so it can show up on screen. But I'll just start the video off anyway. Can we hear?
So would you like to introduce this next segment? Since you put all the hard
Can
labor,
everybody hear? Oh, hi, Slash. Have fun at work.
You're doing a really great job at
Thank you.
putting...
Oh, Cookie Whoopie Pie said, the initial Mike Pence stream was so underrated. Very true. Very, very true. I'm assuming you mean the one with Clobber, because I think they kind of just, oh my gosh, that was such a long time ago. Let me link that too. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna keep playing this.
2 words together and string them into a sentence.
Yes. So would you like to introduce this next segment, since you put in all the hard work making it?
I would love to. So this is a video I've been talking about for months and months, and I've had this script written, and I have a bunch of images I would love to share with everybody. So we're going to be doing this in kind of a 2-part thing where we have this video, and then we will do a live stream with a whole bunch of
Oh, it's
images
just-
that we're
oh,
going to
it's
go
just-
through so
oh,
that
the
we can
Pence
have fun
Marathon,
reacting
you
to them
mean.
together.
Yes, the Pence Marathon stream. Okay. I have not watched that. Is it still up? Is it still available? Well, I just posted Mike Pence and Clobbering Time stream. But yeah, that was I forgot that happened. Oh my gosh. Is this still up? I'm gonna look it up.
Because it's mostly things that are not in the Jorran's tiny pee-pee dump. Never gets old, does it?
No.
No. And I feel like a lot of people would be interested just to see how far you can go with documenting Jordan's behavior online, just with the things that could not be scrubbed off the internet, things that were there after he had already taken down a lot of his accounts, deleted them.
The internet never forgets.
The internet never forgets. So there's a good percentage of things that were already taken off prior to my introduction to the material. So in this video, we're going.
There's a link to the Jorrathon by Mike Pence. I forgot he did. Yeah, it's 8.5. Yeah, a little over 8.5 hours. Insane. Couldn't be me. Could not be me. Oh, okay. Let me make sure I can get the chat showing for everybody to see on stream, and then we can get started properly with the build.
To be exploring Jorran, genie fetishes, sexual fantasy, and BDSM. So this is going to be kind of like a little paper written on
Well, it's going to be a
Jorran's-
lot like the Jorran the Barbarian literary analysis.
Yes, it's an analysis of information we already know from his interactions throughout the community, the way he's acting in other communities.
Deviant art specifically.
Yeah, deviant art specifically, and we've already seen a little bit from the Alamek Forest web ring role playing chat room stuff as well too. I've only been able to ever get like 2 chat logs from that, and there wasn't a lot of contact on there, but you do get a nice baseline for how he approached those types of scenarios, and we could see a lot of parallels in how he wrote his scripts as well.
And before we officially get started, you wanna give him the title?
I already gave the title. Oh,
Hopefully y'all can see the chat now. Eel! Hi, Eel! How's it going? Oops, shit, I accidentally did. I fucked up. Let me check again. No! Fuck. Okay, I say that as I then mess up the chat. Very cool. Very cool, Guru. Why is this working?
and now without further ado, we will delve into Jorran. But you see how this looks, don't you? When I was first introduced to the Jorran's tiny pee-pee dump,
Oh my god.
This is also your thesis, right?
this is my Jorran thesis. I'm gonna graduate from Lolcow College with a major in Jorranology.
Apologies, everybody.
Genealogy. Oh.
Aw. When I was first introduced to the Jorran's tiny pee-pee dump, I immediately started digging and was rewarded with an abundance of material. He left a paper trail a mile wide and basically doxed himself with his sheer stupidity of using the same screen names over and over again, even linking them together. What struck me the most, however, was the massive amount of comments he had made online simply over what is best described as genie pics.
All right, pausing really quickly. I think the chat's fine now. Can y'all let me know if it looks okay? Took a little bit to figure that out.
This obsessive behavior, combined with his narcissism, demanding habits,
Vietnamese
and lack of
princess.
social and interpersonal.
I just read your message, Eel.
Personal boundaries creates an endless
Hello,
circle.
my precious Ecuadorian prince. It's good to have you here.
Where does one stop and
Hello,
the other
Dark.
begin?
Hi there.
Let us start with a baseline for Joran's general, online, and primarily overt sexual behavior.
I'm gonna build now.
What we
Real damn sexual.
What we have the most examples of are his numerous comments towards young women,
I don't know what
dressed
I'm
like genies or not, and representations of women, such as drawings and deviations. They are seemingly and most importantly reacted to based on how they validate Jorn's feelings or opinions. Women were propositioned, even in context in which this
They have a
behavior
library? Oh my God.
is inappropriate or wholly unexpected. Jorn shows very little regard for their comfort, as approaching women so boldly
think I'm gonna
without
edit the
any
library.
trace of interest or consent on their part is
A cavalier fashion, would you say?
Oh my god. I think DeviantArt just brings out the worst in.
Did you interrupt me?
Oh my god.
As approaching women so boldly without any sign of interest or consent on their part is a power flex. He's only interested in showing sexual dominance, and when this is not reciprocated, he simply moves on to the next. It goes without saying that women were largely viewed as disposable sexual conquests, rather than as individuals. Jorn treats women's
Women.
at least I didn't say woman.
I will have sex with 3 women at once.
Jorn treats women as objects, citing he's had all kinds.
All kind of girls. Jordan really, like, he was just, I don't understand how he could claim to, like, you know, how are you going to watch TCAP and then just repeat the shit that fucking predators say? It's so weird and cringy. Oh my god. Like, that is directly borrowed from a TCAP line.
Citing he's had all kinds, as if women were foods at a buffet. He lists off the ethnicity of women he claims to have dated or who have been romantically interested in him, as if it were relevant in situations where it is not.
I think I'm gonna
Jorn
bulldoze this.
exotifies them as a way to increase his own self-value in the process, and further demonstrates a lack of empathy. When we look at the mac and cheese chat log, he is careful to describe what he'd like to do during sex with mac and cheese, but does nothing outside of his own sexual gratification. Jorn is unconcerned with conversations which don't revolve around sex, even when he suspects he's being trolled, which defies logic and reason.
Hi, CNJ Dev.
There's no discussion of who she is as a person, or even surface level questions about what she likes and dislikes, aside, of course, from anything sexual or deviant in nature. Even when she suggested the way she wants to be treated, the only thing Jorn is specifically interested in mac and cheese for is her body and what she will do for him. This is highly egocentric. He depersonalizes her. In his messages to West Most, he calls her a groupie and uses her as an award in some
Oh my god, I forgot he called her a groupie. Hi, Chatterbait Billy. And Nuggies, hi bestie. Welcome. I forgot he said that. He's such a fucking pig. Also, like, hi Aaron E. Welcome. He's such a pig. I don't understand how he thought that he could get women this way. It definitely didn't work in the past. It's very odd.
competition.
And talking to Wes, I'm sorry, like, if you're ever in trouble, maybe don't talk to Wes. Pro tip.
Created by Wes. He does nothing to connect with her as a human being. And part of that could have been his fear of being trolled or catfished But if that were true, then why would Jorn discuss anything of a sexual nature that is specific to his own fetishes? He is ultimately self-serving and needs a large amount of assurance to feel secure in his position of power. Jorn is deceptive in his sexual gratification. He clearly knows whenever his behavior is problematic and will lie, omit the truth, and cover up what he did. He may also deny it to himself, because to admit otherwise is to admit he was wrong. And Jorn doesn't like to do that. He will rationalize half measures, such as when he promised to remove a video, but privated it instead. This is extremely evident in the apology call confrontations with Wes, and also shows an apparent lack of empathy, also seen in the same series of calls, and in the very insecure and unacceptable apology he delivered to the TCAP community. Jorn likes to push social limitations in his interpersonal relationships under the misguided notion he's being an alpha male.
And a comedian.
How the hell did I justify
An
it?
alpha comedian,
Oh, it's just
if you
jokes.
will.
I'm a comedian. Yeah, no. There was some of that, and some of the stuff I said was just plain creepy.
He uses comedy a lot as a shield, not to just completely jump into this, because I know it's your rodeo, but he uses that whole but I'm a comedian. Okay, continue.
That gives him power, or machismo. In fact, most of what we cover on Jorn's sexuality between BDSM and his genie fetish revolves around an encompassing need for control and power with very little emotional intimacy. This
Kind
is
of like Jeffrey Dahmer drilling holes and people trying to make sex zombies. Like, he just doesn't give a shit about... He wants to be able to control the other person completely.
yes.
Yes, absolutely.
And we will get into that later in this
You're no longer a person. You're merely the object of his sexual desires, which is horrendous. Absolutely horrendous and terrifying. I mean, can you imagine? Like, he was just hanging out in the community, right? Oh shit, I fucked that up. He was just hanging out in the community, right? And nobody suspected anything that crazy. Like, people are just here to chill, hang out, listen to clips, chat, hang out with people in chat, maybe on Discord, and nobody's really trying to, or at least I guess now probably more people are, but you know, nobody's really suspecting somebody to be a fucking creep to everybody. Yeah, here he comes in, waltzes in, and it's kind of interesting because I feel like Jorn sort of like, he should have been a warning for other people who would behave like this, yet for whatever reason, like, that just didn't really happen. And I find it ironic that, like, or maybe not completely ironic, but I do find it kind of funny how Jorn was like, if, like, his whole thing of, if this could help one person, you know, understand that it wasn't okay to do this and to not do it again. It's just like, yeah, Jorn. I mean, Jorn is kind of a cautionary tale, but does anybody actually listen to that when they're a fucking creep? No, they don't, because they don't think they're like Jorn, just like they don't think they're like Lauren. It's very interesting. Very interesting. I'm just here to make people laugh, talk to women, and maybe make some money. Exactly, yeah. Hello, size of a beetle bug. Welcome. And I mean, I think that's, you know, everybody finds JORRULY fun and funny, but I think that kind of is like a lasting, yeah, like cautionary tale, is that you just like never know with motherfuckers in any community. You can assume, you know, that somebody has good intentions or is friendly, or maybe they're just kind of cringeworthy. But, you know, fucking creeps lurk around far too many corners. And at least, you know, in this community, if you get found out, you're probably going to get run out. So, yeah. It's easy for these people to use these kinds of communities as a shield for their behavior. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Do you bring up sex zombies later?
No. No, not that.
Wait.
The importance
Sex
of power
zombies?
dynamics.
Can someone... Sex zombies? Is that a thing? Am I missing the joke here?
Okay.
Like Slash. Oh.
How that relates to some of the things that he has said he is interested in. This is ultimately a sign of insecurity. Jorn is clearly uncomfortable with making himself vulnerable, which in turn would easily destroy the delicate bubble of sexual confidence he has built around his ego. We can see examples of this bubble eroding when he had to admit, in retrospect, the pictures he sent of his genitals were subpar and unflattering in his prequel apology call with Wes.
Oh my god. I forgot about that. What did he say? He's like, my dick pics were unflattering, or unflattering like yours. Something like that. Right? Didn't he say that to Wes? And Wes is like, huh?
Throughout the apology call series, in general, when confronted with his behaviors, Jorn would offer no real apology.
Subpar.
He was far more interested in deflection, deception, minimization, and excuses for his behavior as an unsuccessful tactic to regain control,
Yup.
instead of empathizing and understanding with those he had victimized. Jorn undoubtedly walks around with a false sense of bravado before quickly peddling vulnerability in effort to gain sympathy when someone pulls away at the fragility veiling who he is at the very core, a pretender.
Period.
Okay, on our next section, on BDSM,
Oh dear.
there's something to be said of Jorn's appropriation of BDSM in his sexual fetishes. We can see the immediate connection.
Another very, like, telltale sign of a fucking creep is a misunderstanding and, yeah, what did she say? Appropriation of BDSM, like, culture. I don't know. Like, I just feel like some motherfuckers think that because BDSM... I think they get the wrong idea about BDSM culture and relationships, where it's like, oh yeah, these people are fucking freaks, so I'm a fucking freak too. Let's go. It's really disheartening. Prove that's my dick. Thank you, Bailey. My dicks were very unflattering, unlike yours. Jesus. And Aaron E, thank you. It was bad lighting. Everyone knows lighting adds 8 inches. It's true.
Between the concept of the genie, who is bound to a master, which they serve, and the general framework for BDSM scenes.
Trying to figure out what
For
to
some
do.
context on the topic of scenes within the BDSM community, they are pre-planned spaces in which sexual activity takes place. This is specific to imply the consent of the involved individuals,
Right.
establishes exchanges of power, and applies boundaries in which the act takes place. Jorn, as demonstrated in the mac and cheese log, was eager to establish his place in the hierarchy of power and made the first request. He frequently initiates sex
waterfall.
roleplay talk and immediately steers the conversation to
Focus on
revolve
base.
around his requests and demands, which are cloaked in the guise of wishes. While this example isn't demonstrating any physical act and is all in message form, Jorn does not establish or respect any boundaries for his partners in person either. Many Syllables interview with Jorn confirms this. He admits that he had a relationship dissolve due to his genie fetish, as his partner left the relationship
God
due to his
damn.
frequent attempts to break down sexual limitations made by her.
And then I kept one of his shoes.
That's terrifying.
That's all I gotta say.
Absolutely terrifying. Hey, Westmost,
Hi.
welcome. And Slothcat,
Sorry.
hello.
Is this
Hi, guys.
thing on?
Shh, I'm trying to think.
I'm leaving all this.
Jorn, stop.
Yeah, freelance Dom. I mean, it's sort of, there's a couple of components to that. He completely misunderstands what a contract is. And then the idea of it just being freelance, I feel like to me sort of betrays his understanding of it being some sort of relationship that's based upon trust and like not just sort of a freelance situation. I don't know, freelance has such an implication to me of being very non-permanent and sort of I can't think of the right word here. Yeah, non-permanent, not as intimate or as trusting as it should be. And yeah, and in that way, you can justify abusive behavior or dismiss it.
I'm streaming right now. This isn't even a recording.
Wait,
I
Slothcat, I just read your message. That's not my dick. It didn't have a top hat and a mustache on. Oh my god. It's Mr. Peanut. Situational is a good word for it, yeah. He just focused on getting to control someone without any reciprocity because he has no grasp on what BDSM is. Exactly. It's very shallow understandings of things to then be warped by your own perversions. It's frightening. Who would want Jordan in any leadership position, let alone as a dom? I wouldn't get in a vehicle if that dude was driving. Yeah. I mean, didn't he lead, maybe he wasn't a leader of Funny Please, but I feel like he thought that. Like, if you were to ask Jordan what his role was in Funny Please, he would definitely give himself some sort of leadership position. I just think he liked to have power over people, and that definitely permeated in many ways. And when you think about, you know, his profession as a masseuse, that is also a relationship which is unironically built around trust and a safe place. Yeah, he just abused that for his own pleasure. I mean, it's rather frightening to think about. Jordan was a co-founder of Funny Please. Thank you for that. Yeah, so he was a leader. Interesting. Yeah, it's frightening, very frightening to have him as a masseuse. That could not be me. I'm very out of Lorne. Or sorry, Lorne. I don't even care about Lorne anymore. But very out of Lorne. God damn, I'm saying it again. Jordan lore. I need to brush up. I believe Alpha Male Derrick did do an interview with somebody that was in the Funny Please troupe. That would be interesting. Tegan initially said, "Hi, Pussy Destroyer, welcome." Tegan initially said he feared Jordan working with him would harm Jordan's career. Apparently, there were allegations against Tegan, but I never found out more. Interesting. I did not know that. Yeah, Laura and Joran. It's far too similar.
fake the recording so you'd think it's recording, but we're actually streaming right now. We've been streaming this whole time. I wanted to show people. Oh man, I'm losing the Jordan voice. It's been so long since I've done it.
You never really had a good Jordan voice. I'm sorry. We've already got Steve's Jordan voice, which is superb.
Okay.
I'm sorry. It still sounded the same to me. Are you mad?
Let's just move on.
Where this is also evident in his pre-apology call with West Most is when Jordan brings up identifying as a dom as being one of his kinks. Wes is bemused and questions Jordan about if he uses contracts to figure out
Here we go.
what he really is into, and Jordan is rather dismissive of it. For those who are not familiar, contracts within the BDSM community are an agreement between both parties to follow set guidelines, structures, and boundaries within a power exchange relationship. They could be short, lasting only for a single scene, or could be used to define a long-term relationship and not always sexual in nature.
That'd be real awkward if you broke up and you made one of those lifetime contracts. The person just comes into your house and has sex with you, and you're like, "Sorry, honey, I'm signed this contract.
Oh my
This
god.
BDSM contract."
I'm pretty sure that they dissolve in the case of the
They're
relationship.
not legally
breaking.
binding. I
I'm
know, I get it. I'm just
Stop.
fucking around.
I would imagine that they would be. I don't know.
Following Jordan's dismissive statement,
anybody know?
Wes quickly
I imagine that they would be legally binding. Some sort of protection, right? Like an agreement, if you agree to, you know, have a very physically, I want to say violent, but I suppose like violent for pleasure's sake. Maybe you would need to have that signed in so that the person who is the dom in that situation wouldn't get in trouble. Derek and Steve. That was great. Let's see what folks said. Clobber and I did an interview with Jay from Funny Please. Wine Lover was so pissed she deleted the chat log like an adult. That's funny. So it was Steve that did the Alpha Male Derrick interview. Interesting. They are, Wes said about the contracts, they are legally binding only in the sense that they can save you from possible DV charges. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
define Jordan's interest as being more of master and slave, as Jordan admittedly prefers having complete control over.
Question, folks. Do I give this library like a foundation? So like raise it up off the ground a bit or nah?
Over his subject.
I can't decide.
This begs the question, why wouldn't Jordan show interest in even just the most basic contract to structure mutually beneficial aspects of the relationship, sexual or otherwise? Jordan's negative reaction of the use of contracts is a little surprising, as it seems entirely relevant to his level of control that he desires. But
okay, Wes said, because there are some really broken people in BDSM, like Muse, yeah, that's who I think of usually, who will try and get people arrested after the relationship breaks down. She did that to her ex-boyfriend and ruined his life. Yeah, and that's sort of, I feel like, the... sorry, I'm adjusting my mic. An extreme, excuse me, my voice is going hoarse. An extreme example of, you know, where something happens, and that contract would really, really save someone's life and reputation. Eel, you're a fucking menace. Eel said, Jordan is like one of those cops on TV shows that hates the paperwork. He got into the game to catch criminals, not fill out paperwork. Only with spanking women.
it could also be that he doesn't know much about BDSM and cherry-picked the things he likes, or was using those terms to identify with Wes, which quickly backfired.
BDSM
His refusal to
commission.
speak at length on the topic could have been due to his limited knowledge, and was immediately uncomfortable talking about a subject he knows next to nothing about. It would also not be the first time that Jordan attempted to exotify himself to increase his self-image in the eyes of
Oh
others.
my god. Not exotifying
Giving Jordan the
himself.
benefit of
Oh
the
my
doubt that he is
God.
somewhat familiar with BDSM, another likely possibility is showing that level of
He
self-discipline
and
or
his
having to do
Portuguese
any amount of work on his
ancestors.
end for this type of arrangement is simply not what Jordan envisions in his fantasy. Many of these contracts can outline domestic responsibilities or conduct outside the relationship, and Jordan is likely unwilling to expend any thought, time, or energy on anything beyond his own sexual gratification. He wants to assume control whenever and wherever he chooses, and expects obedience. He does not
Yikes.
want any boundaries to define his will or to control him within the context of the relationship. He does not want boundaries or to know what the other person wants out of what should be a mutually beneficial arrangement. These boundaries were made under the value of trust, the trust that they will be followed and respected. This is where all claims Jordan makes of being into BDSM fall apart. Based on what we know of Jorun's prior actions, how likely is he to respect another's boundaries? How likely is he to even establish or assure trust in another person? This highlights another aspect of Jorun's highly manipulative, irresponsible, and entitled actions and behavior. In a community where structure and rules are considered very important for physical, emotional, and psychological well-being of others, Jorun's disregard for them makes him terrifying. He is not into BDSM. He only seeks to appropriate the terminology and situational framework in service to his own wish fulfillment, power exchange fantasy. For a very specific example of how Jorun's role-playing fantasy with genies fits into behaviors.
Is there no matching door?
Sorry, I don't know. Hey, are
I'm
you
listening.
dead?
No.
Okay. You were so still there.
Well, I just didn't. I don't want to cut in.
That's
too
This isn't
much.
written. So, an example of Jorun's
I love
behavior
AMD.
of
They're so
assuming
funny.
control in a power dynamic when he starts like getting into an attempt at sexual role playing, he almost initiates it with all the comments that he makes.
Yeah, it's almost like you can't escape it because of how he speaks.
Any one of those comments could turn into a situation where it's sexual role play for him. And I'm gonna get this example up.
Yo, ha, ha, ha.
Hold on. Sorry, we gotta see.
Ha.
I forgot that the Portuguese Jorro bot was in these videos. Okay, so that was the end of part 1. We're gonna go to part 2 now.
Let me find the link. So I'll start with the image first for you to see. It's this image here.
Okay, looks a little bit like Zelda, but genified, and the artwork's not atrocious.
I cannot
it's
with
Given
that.
the
nicely
deviant
done.
art.
It's nicely done.
Like Zelda, nothing is
appreciate
sacred
that
to
there
these
isn't a
people.
harsh black
Nothing is
outline on
sacred to
everything.
these
They chose
people.
to do a color lining on everything, so it's harmonious to the color palette, and it's an excellent design choice. That aside, the comments are what attracted me. Okay, so very quickly you see Jorun.
Yes.
Yeah, very quickly.
He's
Also,
the first comment. He's first.
yes, he's first.
Shout out to Sorry Sip of Water.
I wanted to show this because
Hi,
this
Johnny.
is a good documentation of what happens if somebody reciprocates Jorun's comments
And
and
this is
where
a
he will
female
quickly
artist.
take. She's a female artist, and I also just fucking noticed this that I didn't see before. Featured in groups on the right hand side there, we have Genie's Bottle, which is a frequent group that Jorun revolves around. Collecting Art, Sweet and Cute something that has a pair of boobs
And
on
new
it.
teen artists.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
no.
assuming at this time
New
this
teen
particular
artists. Fuck.
artist.
Is a teenager.
Oh my god. Okay.
And now a quick message.
To just say really quick, what's happening on my screen? Matthew Mahogany and Adult Girl have rolled out on the screen in the mothership and are giving some sort of update for us.
From Adult Girl.
Hello, everyone. When we began our first reading of the role-playing chat log between Jorun and the young artist on DeviantArt, we could only really speculate her age. In fact, due to her sophisticated use of design principles in her illustrations, it seemed entirely possible that she could be 19 or 20. This was not the case. At the time in which this chat log occurred, the girl Jorun was genifying and grooming was newly 17 years
Oh
of
my
age.
god.
And how old was Jorun?
If Jorun was 48 years old last spring or summer, he would have been around 47 years old.
Wow.
What was already sleazy and cringy behavior has become definitively worse, highlighting the fact that checking the age of what is presumably quite a young girl was not his priority. The first reading of this rather uncomfortable exchange really does no justice to the subtext between Jordan's patterned behaviors and the young artist's reactions. Consequently, there will be a few more installments to this series, further analyzing Jordan's choices in his conduct and the contents of this chat log.
And now, without further ado, back to the video. Yes.
All right. Do you want to read Jordan and I read the artist?
Yeah, sure. Is that how you want to do the back
Yeah,
and
like a
forth?
chat log.
Okay, sure.
Like a chat.
All right, so we're gonna start from the top. Amazing.
Oh yeah. Let me pause this really quick. Yeah. So this is like a bit of a read from a chat that he had with a teen on DeviantArt. So just note, trigger warning for people who might not want to listen to this part. Yeah. Jordan was all over a 19-year-old female in the TCAP community before he was busted. She made it clear that she had a boyfriend, but that didn't stop the old Latin charm. Latino heat. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, like I'll hear Eddie Guerrero's like walkout music whenever somebody mentions, or like I hear Jordan say like Latino lover or whatever. It's funny. Talk about being Latino,
Cute
which he
ear,
isn't, but whatever.
and
Anyway,
then, like little hearty emoji,
Smiley face.
smiley face. Yes.
You're welcome. What I wouldn't give for my very own genie girl.
Who wouldn't? Even me.
maybe I don't want it that tall. I
Exy
don't want it that
face.
tall.
No, you'll need to be the genie. Left my ass
Oh
off.
my god.
So there we go.
Boom! Immediately.
Immediately.
He's like, you're gonna be my genie.
No.
It's not her just saying like
She can't have her own
objectively.
autonomy.
Yeah, she can't have her own genie because that would be preposterous. Why would a female need a genie? Because all females are supposed to be genies.
I shouldn't
anyway.
laugh,
Yeah,
but really,
why
that
on earth would a female
it's
have a
that.
genie? Continue, yeah.
Yes,
It's
we
that
will-
idiotic.
We will talk more about that subject as
For
well.
the rest of our fucking lives.
What?
I'm going in a different
Me?
direction with this build. So.
What? Sorry. What? Me? What would I do as one? And then, like, kind of like a clueless emoji with, arms or hands put up questioningly.
Grant me all my wishes, of course.
Oh, he's so fucking
LOL.
creepy.
All caps.
Oh my
LOL.
god.
What would be your wishes?
And then it apparently drops off
No.
from there.
View all replies.
Oh no.
No.
Alright, well,
Click on it.
before we
Oh,
continue,
no.
this conversation is from May 23rd, 2019.
So it's not that long ago.
Hi, Serenity.
It's like
welcome.
a year and a
Oh,
half
no.
ago, or
Oh no.
How
It's
horrid.
so long,
Oh no.
and it's all public, just on a DeviantArt page.
So this is the next one right here.
All right.
Fucking
so,
DeviantArt, man.
It leaves off at the LOL. What would be your wishes? So she's just kind of playing along here. Probably doesn't know quite what she's getting into.
This
Who
poor
would?
girl has no clue what she's
Seriously, who
Please,
would? I feel
please,
like.
Please read the next line.
to be
Let me
called
pause
master.
really quick. I mean, who would? That's the other issue with this whole situation. It's just like, be upfront about it. Like, be upfront about it. If you're gonna be a fucking freak and have some sort of fetish that like will dictate how you engage with the world, be upfront about it with people. It's so devious. It's so horrible. Hi, Polynomial Purebred. Hello. Thank you. I missed you too. I hope you're well. Hi, Billy the Kid. Welcome back.
A kiss from the genie. Can't resist a
God, I
Mexican
keep hitting my mic.
woman.
I'm so sorry, you guys.
Nachos.
Why does this happen recurrently?
I need to, like,
This is,
adjust
like,
how
the
I
Third
set up my
instance
mic.
of
Maybe.
him
Let me mute really quick.
Talking about-
exclaiming nachos.
Yeah, and
Going on mute.
involving any woman of vaguely
Hispanic.
Hispanic
Well, it's
descent.
that. I mean, him referencing Hispanic women. That's like in the dozens.
Yeah.
But the nachos is a
Yeah,
maybe
the
that's just a thing
nachos.
that he says.
Perhaps
to,
it's a catchphrase of Jordan.
It's
Nachos.
just stupid.
Can't give you the nachos, but I guess I can give you this, master. And then she does a little gif of kissy lips.
Yeah. She's just kissing her comfort goodbye on her
Yeah.
on her artwork here. This is exactly, if I was an artist, this is exactly the type of exchange that I would want to have with people who are appreciating my artwork.
There are so many things you could say about that very nice drawing she did.
All right, how do I sound now? And if I move here, is it okay? Let me know, please. Thank you, friends.
It does have huge movies on it, but it's still very well drawn.
Jordan's such a...
What a thing to start on. It does have big boobs on it, but it's still really well drawn. That's funny.
a piece of crap.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. There's 100 things you could say about that drawing besides amazing, and then immediately pushing it into sexual role play talk and
Thank you,
establishing
Nuggies.
himself as the master, and she has to be subservient to him.
I am keeping you, kiss back, now to trick persuade you to give me unlimited wishes.
Yikes.
All
Trick?
caps LOL.
God, he's
That's
such a
not part of
fucking
the rules,
perv, man.
and you know it.
Well, not only that, but this isn't the first instance of Joran making a reference to deceiving
Yes.
Right.
women in order to...
Or I guess I'm keeping you.
Right.
Like the idea of being like a disposable object to him.
Well, and he got the pixie to turn into a genie.
Yeah,
persuasion, the
there's a whole
manipulation.
thing.
He's
Yeah.
it's out there if you just look for it, man. All right. Anyway,
I have no idea where you go.
I wasn't going anywhere.
That's cute.
Ross Mills.
Let's turn them up a little bit more.
Ross Mills.
Not Schmeals.
Schmoll.
I hate how part of his fetish is the lack of consent. Yes. Yes, that is a significant, possibly the biggest component. I feel like that's exactly what the fetish is, and then, or maybe that's the core of it, is a lack of consent. Of course, you have a genie that's, like, trapped in a bottle. Yeah, oh my god, no, not sex magic. Oh, man. Anyway, yeah, exactly. Genie equals slave with magic powers. You can't trick a genie, you have to out scheme them. Yes, but that is affording genies some sort of wit and intelligence that Joran does not like in his slaves. It's really terrible. It's pretty funny that, like a classic genie, Joran got his wish, the internet fame, but at the hands of the monkey paw. That's funny. It's true. Does anybody know what Joran's been up to? I feel like Wes would know more than anyone, but yeah, is he just being a sad, lonely guy in the Pacific? Oh no, not Pacific, Northeast. I'm sorry, in the Northeast. No. The sexier the genie is, the more you need to stir their feet. Ew, it's so gross. Fucking feet, man. I don't have anything written out, but I feel like feet people are like the most devious, or at least have the highest per capita of fucking devious little bastards in their little weird subgroup. It's so gross. Calling me a monkey's paw is super racist. Hi, Kyle Titterton. Welcome. Ages and nationalities in the chat. I am a 102-year-old genie from Cape Verde.
I want to be in my very own. I dream of genie.
Oh my.
Oh, yeah, he totally jerks it to the lamps, Johnny. There is absolutely no way that he doesn't do that.
My God. Haha, all right, master. But only 'cause I'm curious about it.
Smart genie.
Could you imagine if you were to get like little dolls and put them inside the genie bottles? Sorry, I'm just like imagining him like at a thrift store or like a maker's fair, and somebody has like small dolls or something, and he's just like, oh, well, this is perfect for my collection, and then like goes home and uncorks the bottle and drops them in there. I could see that. There's also like a weird like vor adjacent component to this, but yeah.
Bottle.
I forgot about the litter genie. Oh my god, Nugs, you're right. Oh my god. Just really any genie. Literally any genie. Do you think he went to see the live action Aladdin and had like some sort of like gay awakening?
You know what? Jordan's a bottle guy.
He is a bottle guy. I was about
Ew.
to say that.
And I hadn't even thought about
He
doesn't-
is a bottle guy.
Two separate
Thanks.
containment units for genies.
He doesn't collect any lamp-shaped
He's
things.
not into the lamps. He likes the
He
bottles.
likes the
Yes,
bottles.
and I
Weird.
will be discussing genie bottles later on in this.
Is it
as
because
well.
it's phallic?
No. Well, I mean, there's.
Could be.
Okay, let's not talk about that right now. Okay. I
That's
don't want to.
fair.
I don't want to destroy
Fair. Fair.
the other segment that we will be coming upon. I'm sort of a traditional girl.
Why can't I see
So
that?
a lamp.
God.
Gold lamp it is. Picks up and gives it a good polishing.
Wait. Returns to the lamp.
Oh wow! Rubbing the lamp sucks the genie inside. Takes the lid off and
You
peeks
really did
inside.
say gorgeous
That is
genie.
also a whole
Oh
other
my
thing we'll get into.
god.
Not only does he have the power
Absolute
to like
deviant.
banish her into this kind of
She
contained.
can't escape.
She can't escape. She's.
I knew
confined
somebody
to it.
like
He can
that
get
where
rid
it's
of
just
her
like
whenever he
could not keep their fetish out of anything. Anything. I don't understand how you could live life like that. It's insane. It's a miserable life. Maybe that's why like fucking loser old guys are always the ones living that lifestyle, because there's no other way to do it than to be miserable and alone, because nobody can fucking stand it when you talk about that shit or you do stuff like that. I bet Jordan watched the Monster High Genie movie. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Also, I don't know how I got there, but I somehow ended up on like Monster High TikTok, which isn't a problem. It's just like not for me, and I don't know what the TikTok algorithm was thinking. It's like, no.
wants and doesn't have to deal with her
my
outside of his own
God.
needs. And then she's like, "Hey, I'm taking a bath in here." I appreciate that she's trying to take it to a cutesy area away from too much.
Jordan
sex.
was just a few wrong turns away from
Yeah.
cutting a woman's arms and legs off and keeping her in a box
Jesus
under his bed.
Christ.
Yeah, her. Hey, I'm taking a bath in here. Could be her trying to
Like,
put up a.
go the fuck away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, hey, what are you doing? This is invasive.
Why is the
And then
glass not
Jordan.
showing up? That's weird.
Sorry, puts the lid back on.
Whatever.
The relationship stays professional until the genie wants otherwise.
Okay, so he's trying to make it seem like she's going to have the power in choosing what's
she
going on.
wants it, and she's gonna be the one who will want it that way, of course.
Yes, but he was the one who already started requesting kisses from her, which is
Right.
decidedly not a very professional thing to do. And he's already initiated the power dynamic in the relationship by posing a request to be granted. It's the master being served. Get it? You're just smoking.
I get it. I get it.
Okay, we still have a lot more to go on this. Yeah, you better.
Again, putting up some boundaries. Don't get sassy, young lady. So
Hi,
she
Rachel
can't
Virgin.
have boundaries.
Welcome. And Miso
Somebody
Lorny, hello.
needs to make an art piece about a genie coming out of a lamp wearing a towel and a towel turban on her head.
Okay, we're
The
gonna go
way he
through a
says
lot
that.
of like
Ooh.
deviations and comments that Jordan leaves.
I think Matthew Mahogany's impression of Joran is like criminally good. Like suspiciously good. It's so fucking funny. So funny.
In an upcoming stream. This is another form of Jordan getting
Trying to
like
figure
little
out, like,
commissions
what
done
room
with
is
him,
this
but
gonna
without
be?
actually paying for them. He that's a request.
Oh, I got this idea that would be really cool. I don't know who wants to do it. Maybe you.
Well, he'll specifically do it in the comment relating to an art piece, like amazing, but blankety blankety blank. And I've seen him do this so many different times. I've even caught him doing it on a cosplayer's page as well, and she actually references him as the inspiration
Oh Lord.
for a particular work where she's a genie in a bottle, which we'll
Oh my
also go through
God.
at some point.
Poor girl.
Yeah.
Ha ha ha. That actually sounds pretty funny. Hey, you may be my master outside, but this is my place.
In parentheses, I'd love it. Her arms are crossed, but she is mad and wet.
Ew.
Get nice and clean. Need to smell good for your new master. What is up with all these perverted guys being obsessed with bathing women and like? Because you see that in a lot of the chat logs on perverted justice.
Well, because you're naked in the shower.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
and
that's a
you're
good
getting all
point.
wet and soapy, and it's very
Okay.
sensual and stuff. And they like the idea that she's presenting herself to them exclusively by bathing herself. So once again, like she puts down a little boundary, like, and it's part of the role playing. But she's like, "Hey, you may be my master on the outside, but this is my place." And there's supposed to be some humor in there, of
And
course.
I think that had a double meaning.
Yeah.
Wherein this
Hold
is
on. Jordan is like those weird guys that try to get Princess Peach cosplayers to twirl on video as a fetish. Oh my god! That's a thing? That's horrifying. Oh, that just reminded me. Okay, I posted a video somewhere else. And like the first comment on the video was somebody being like, lean closer into the mic, breathe harder. I was like, what the fuck? This is not why I'm here, you fucking freak. Ban them immediately.
my page, too.
Maybe, I don't know. She goes along with a lot of this stuff, so I think that she might find it somewhat amusing.
Trying to figure out what to do with
But
these
it's
rooms.
really hard to interpret what's going on just because she kind of goes back and forth on the little role play talking here. And he just kind of like bulldozes over it, like, "Hey, you may be my master on the outside, but this is my place." He doesn't even respond to that. He's just talking about how like, "Oh, you're gonna be nice and clean for me." Ooh.
Oh.
And then she responds, "That is so demeaning." Finishes her bath and gets dressed.
Asterix plays snot. Asterix plays snake charmer flute music.
Hello?
Asterix.
Gets
What?
out, reluctantly dancing to the tune.
Oh my god.
Yes?
This poor girl.
This poor girl is like stuck in this role play situation because it's on her art and in the I mean, I guess she could just delete and block, but I feel like she's trying to be nice here. She's extending herself far more
Definitely trying to be
than I
nice.
think she wants to.
I mean, also look at the drawing of the genie. It is very sexualized in a certain way, and I think she understands that genies in this type of community are
There's sexual connotations. There's,
yes, they're fetishized, and
Yeah.
that she's going to be getting these kind of responses. And in fact, maybe she's kind of into that power dynamic herself. But you can kind of see where she might show some discomfort.
She's pulling back a bit,
I
it seems like.
Yeah, it feels like she's kind of retreating and going into a safer spot where it's not so explicit feeling.
And Joran is he either doesn't care or is completely oblivious. My very own belly dancing genie. I'm in love. Do I get kissed? Like
Yikes.
when Genie met Tony?
So yet another I Dream of Jeannie reference in this. So there's been two of them. Like, this is like I Dream of Jeannie. This is like I Dream
I'm
of
pretty
Jeannie.
sure you can hear Matthew Mahogany smoking.
My second point was that
Oh wait. Oh, sorry, Zachy. I just saw it. Was it Lauren talking about your pretty voice? Oh my God. Could you imagine? I love your hair. I love brushing long hair. Yeah. Could you imagine if it was Lauren? I would like rather die. I would rather die.
that with the belly dancing thing, like my very own belly dancing genie, like she's saying gets out reluctantly dancing to tune. Keyword being reluctantly. And like this could be also played
like
off
I'm
as
not
a
enjoying
humorous
this library
situation
layout.
where she's like, oh, this is I'm being reluctant, but it kind of like further establishes to Jorn the idea that women being reluctant in these situations is a desirable or
She's playing hard to get.
yeah, or it's something that all women are interested in,
Yeah.
and maybe this
Yeah, let's not do
person
an outdoor
is
space at the
okay with
library.
this type
Who
of.
are we? We don't
yeah,
have
I don't
enough-
know. Maybe this is what they like, but
It doesn't seem like it from the
I
conversation.
think that Jorn wouldn't question this coming from any other person either.
can do it
Well, master, that's up to you. But remember, you must always say, I wish, and then your order.
I love it. I wish for a kiss from my gorgeous genie.
All right. Gets closer, and then kissy jiff. Now we get to the point where Jordan really wanted to get earlier but couldn't.
Now,
Oh dear.
is he angling to have full-blown cyber sex in front of everybody in the comments of this?
Absolutely.
Like,
What is it? What is he aiming for here? Because that
Jesus.
seems to be what it is.
I feel
it's
like-
just a.
Oh, we'll hear
almost
what their
like
commentary
would
is,
be the
but I have an
equivalent of
idea.
a public sex act, but in cyberspace.
Read-
Wraps his arms around.
Nug said, I would love to know how a fetish takes hold on a person to the extent it does with Jorn. Like, how does something take over someone's entire mind like that? Right? I'm curious if, like, no, never mind. I'm not going to say that. It is completely fascinating because I don't know. The only way I can relate is stuff that I'm like really into as like a hobby, but that's so not similar. Like, that's like a really innocent and fun like aspect of my personality. I can't imagine having some sort of sinister obsession that dictates daily life essentially and in relationships to such a staggering degree. I mean, we know he's like even lost friendships over this. Like, is your fetish truly worth more than a friend? That's crazy. That's absolutely insane. Their age difference is even larger than Lauren and Kayla's. Yikes. Ugh. Fucking pedophile. That's disgusting. Wow. I didn't realize that. Wow.
Does kiss
Why were you in a fucking... Oh my God. I don't understand why people like this end up in the TCAP community. It does not make any sense. Like, ugh. Shocking. That's horrifying. Absolutely disgusting.
you softly and sweetly.
Jordan's fetish is a compulsion. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, getting it being during sexual times, but to have every facet ruled by it is insane, right? He's constantly thinking about it. Yeah, guys, that exactly. It's every moment of every day. I guess I have thoughts, but like, I don't know, it's like wider like societal conversations and implications, but I mean, yeah, like the world we live in sort of breeds that for men in a sense. Like, if, you know, I feel like most often it's men who have those kind of traits and compulsions. And I think there's a reason why, based on how men are socialized in society. And that's, I mean, it's unfortunate when you're a child, but then like as an adult, you need to like really try and not, you know, feed those habits. It's really hard to put those things together in my head. He's so goofy and cringeworthy. It's just odd that he's actually a predator as well. Right? Yeah. That's how I feel about a lot of folks that we've now come to find out are like terrible people. And we're like, how can you derive so much like entertainment from someone, yet they're also fucking horrific? You know what I mean? Like, if I would be genuinely like creeped out if I met him in person. I would be very, very creeped out if I met him in person, and, you know, kind of like, don't look at me, do not perceive me. I don't want to be something remembered in your brain for later. You know what I mean? Like, that's just really horrifying. There's something to be said about Jordan's fetish revolving a type of enslavement of women of color. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, again, it goes back to the thing I briefly alluded to, like societal standards and the way that we are the the context in which we live. I was thinking of like quoting the coconut. What is it? You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist within the context of everything that came before you. But like, in a serious note, like, actually, yeah, the enslavement of women of color is, I think, a really key component to this, and his obsession with ethnicity, and I think, yeah, goes with it. Yep, obsession for people's ethnicities. It's all interconnected. And I think, yeah, sorry, I'm trying to like put together thoughts in the moment, but I need more time to really give that a well fleshed out thought. I mean, again, this thesis is Zachy, are you Mexican? No, but again, this like whole video essay, these video essays are really good for that reason, because, you know, Adult Girl, especially Matthew Mahogany, really are intentional about put a lot of thought into it, and I appreciate that. How come he never goes after women that are actually into this? He foists his fetish on people covertly, and I think he gets a kick out of that. Yeah, that's absolutely a major component of that. And I do feel like, I mean, if we look at this exchange, he seems frustrated when there's some sort of like, I don't know, cognition, or like, I don't really know how to phrase it essentially, but basically like having a genie who is able to be like, nah, I don't like that, or, oh, what did she say? Like, oh, I'm want some privacy, I'm taking a bath or whatever. It's either covert, or if it's acknowledged, it's forced, if that makes sense. Like, he really needs to be in the one that's in control, and also not just in control, but really forceful with that. Because you can be in control and kind of also suggest things and lead people in certain ways, but to be very forcefully in control is different, I feel like. Jessie was the same way. There were plenty of men who would appreciate her nudes on FET, but she insisted on sending them to people who never asked. Yes, exactly. Yeah. It's that shock, I think, as well, you know, stunning people into silence, and really, I mean, in that way you have a control over their physical reactions to things, you know. Certain things are, yeah, our body just tenses up, or jaw drops, or whatever. And I think being able to influence that, and I guess, again, that is really something that, like, kind of, you don't really have a reaction. You can't control certain reactions, and I think that is a component of it too. Interesting. Wes said, there are many people who are fetish flashers. They like shocking people with their kinks, or the idea of turning people from normal into their little plaything. Ugh, that's so gross. Fetish flashers? Oh, that's terrible. I think I've experienced that before. Now that you mention it, I've never heard of that term. Jessie never sent me any nudes. Oh man, you didn't miss anything, my friend. I guess you are the breed seeker, though. What did Nug say? Oh wait, hold on. I was seeing y'all are leaving some really great commentary, so I wanted to read it all. Nug said he wants to force a woman into something she's not interested in, yet he doesn't want her to push back at all. Those concepts are almost mutually exclusive. Absolutely. Which I feel like is probably, again, I'm not terribly familiar with BDSM culture, but I feel like that could, in his bastardization and appropriation of that culture, maybe that's why he is in there, to have that sort of thing that feels, you know, like you were saying, almost mutually exclusive, where you force somebody into something and maybe they're not super into it, but they won't push back at all. And that can be some sort of like a role play that he can act out in that sort of setting. It's really gross and weird. I hope that makes sense. Correct me if I'm wrong with what I'm saying. Westmont's fetish flashed me into being an asshole. I love that. Wes said, yeah, it's like a flasher, but instead of their dink, they want to shock you with their fetish. Ah, Kelpill was the same. Yeah. One of the things, I didn't really talk to Kelpill much, but one of the things that kind of just clicked in my head for me as you say that now, I know she had sent images to certain people that were, had like a really specific context, but there were 2 photos that she sent to me that were similar to other people, and we were having just very like a normal conversation. She was never inappropriate towards me at all. We never had like a terribly close relationship either. We would just occasionally talk on Discord. And 2 of the photos that she had sent me had been sent to somebody else in like a very different context, I suppose, with those other people, in like a more sexual or like flirtatious way. And I don't like that. And when I found that out, it made me feel very uncomfortable, because I guess, yeah, like you were saying, fetish flashing, except I didn't even know I was being flashed a fetish. I thought we were just like talking about things that like fit into yeah, it was stuff that didn't seem sexual to me. However, now knowing, it's like, oh yeah, that was to her. And yeah, it's just weird. Remember when Kelp flashed everyone with the tongue piercing selfie during the stream? Yes, that's what, yeah, she sent me a selfie of her tongue piercings. Yeah. Again, something that just didn't seem like whatever, and then later on finding out like, oh shit. Yeah, that was one of the photos she sent me. Kelpill was off my DMs and the conversation was gross. I clearly had no interest, but she kept on. Yeah, it seemed like that was experience many people had. Too many people had. Kelpill pulled herself a little teacup tail early on, and then felt like she was going to run her way through every swinging dink in the community. That's funny. That's her. It's the way you said it is funny, but also that's just horrific. Yeah, this community attracts some odd people, and I find it very interesting that you see folks like still like going to bat for Kelpill. Yeah, like going to bat for Kelpill, but then they'll like love JORRULY or like pop in on a JORRULY stream, and it's just like you gotta be consistent with where you draw the line, you know. Maybe there are some people in the community that like have done things and were never publicly called out, but like even like no matter who it is, you should still understand and acknowledge that that person is disgusting, and don't, you know, stand up for them. It's very odd. I think there was like, I've heard of one person who stood up in a sense, or sort of defended Jorin, but I did not ever talk to that person. I was not around for that, and I have not seen anybody else, but I'm sure there's other people there. It's just very interesting. And again, with relation to Kelpill, like, I don't know, maybe because she's a woman, I feel like would be where that double standard is. But that's also kind of related to how like women are just so sexualized and fetishized in society that it's like, well, yeah, of course yeah, he still defends Jordan. That's crazy. That's crazy, Wes. Wow, that's not. And put their wow, that's disgusting. Oh yeah, but back to my. I think that is very related to like how women are fetishized and viewed as objects in wider culture. Um, and that's kind of why people still defend her, is because, well, she's a lady and I thought it was hot too, so it's fine. It's just like, no, like, she's a person with autonomy and what she chose to do is not okay. Even if you might have been turned on, I guess, it's still not okay. You know, there are times where I go in her streams, especially the late night ones, and the conversations were just so odd, because it'd be late at night and I would have it, like, I struggle with insomnia. And so I'd see, I was like, oh, this will be interesting. And it was late at night. And it was usually, it seemed like men, mostly men, who were in the chat talking with her, which again is totally fine. But just given the context of everything else that happened, just really inappropriate. And all of this, everything I've been saying has been stemming from Wes talking about fetish flashing, and I had never heard of that term, and that is so. Thank you for sharing that term, because that just kind of really contextualized and sort of formed a clear thought in my mind for that whole situation and what really happened. So thank you. Okay, let me see what folks were saying while I was in that thought. Yeah, so they put the contact back up. It's been up for a few weeks. I have to be honest with you guys. I'm only here to slowly get you to join my cult. Slothcat, just send me a Google form and I will sign up. Like you don't need to, doesn't need to be slow. I will gladly join. Kelpill's cooing around like she's Eartha Kid. That's very funny. It's true though. Like, she would. I love it when she would go. She'd be like, "Hold on, let me do this. Let me go up to my mic. Hello, everybody." Like, I can't replicate it. But yeah, it was very much so like I think somebody called it her 900 number voice, something like that. It is pretty funny. She's wait, okay. You made up the term. It's not official or anything. Oh, okay. Well, I think it's brilliant. It's a really, really good term. Very good term to define that. Nug said she sent me a video of Eartha Kitt and said it reminded her of me. Yikes. What? I don't think I knew about that. Ew. That's so gross. Oh, I hate that. Oh, I absolutely hate that. I'm sorry, Nugs. Wow. Is it a donut cult? That's funny. Pauline on me a purebred asking the real questions. But yeah, anyway. I think there's a lot of broader implications and factors that contribute to why a person behaves the way that they do. Yes, Yzma. Yes, that is our queen. But yeah, I think there's a lot of factors that go into it, right? But as they say in dialectical behavioral therapy, there are causes and then there's responsibility. So, a cause might be some sort of societal system that you don't really have control over, such as, being raised as a male and all of the things that go along with that. You can't help that when you're a child and even as a teenager, but when you become adult, you can, take responsibility and not behave that way. But certain people choose not to and don't give a fuck and are selfish and narcissistic and would prefer to fetish flash and fester some sort of disgusting internal morality where they're able to do whatever they want, and anybody else who's upset about it can just fuck off. like, or, you know, for example, and I say fuck up, and an example of that being when he tried to sort of, Joran specifically tried to sort of pass some of the blame onto Tiffany Lockhart, saying, you know, he had offered her multiple sketches and, oh, she picked this one. It's like, no, take responsibility for what you did, dude. You did that. And that is, again, kind of falls under, the covert, unsuspecting nature of it all is really disgusting. Truly disgusting and frightening. And I don't wish that upon anybody. So, yeah. Jesus. Some weird dichotomy. You know, I haven't visited the Jessie stuff in a long time. I might listen to that sometime. I don't know. It's been a while. I forgot about my phone calls with her until literally just now. Kyle said, Kelpa making her streams sexy was utterly baffling. This is absolutely the wrong community to bring that kind of vibe. Yeah, exactly. Like cerebral and sexy, very odd. I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, right. There was one time I was in her stream and she was talking about like cartel videos, which I'd never seen. But yeah, she was doing like her sexy voice. It's just so, it's so weird and gross. I'm also not really, well, whatever. Anyway, that's nasty. Wes said, oh yeah, I was not going to let Jordan get away with blaming Tiffany. Tiffany does ruin everything she touches. That was not her fault. Yeah. I listed them off. Jordan, I'm going to ask you one more time. Which one did you tell her about first? Brilliant question. It really was a brilliant question to ask. Which one did you say first? Because it, whether or not he was conscious of it, it does show in his mind there was a priority, or a priority placed on that specific one, consciously or subconsciously, because that's what he wanted to hear. That is what he wanted to see. Tiffany's more like a sister. Yeah, the implications of that too is gross. Like, he seems like somebody who would enjoy that sort of role play. Yikes. Joran said, I privated my more sexual videos. Bro, why are your Lorne videos sexual in the first place? Truly. Truly. I feel like this community being based on sexual perversion and abuse, one would just assume that a person would not bring pleasure into that. Hi, Dan the Man. Welcome. I'm not aware of that, but of both being sex offenders. I'm not aware of that, but yeah. Oh my god, I lost my train of thought now. Oh well, whatever. Yeah, it's disgusting, and especially unknowing individuals. So, yeah, I'm gonna keep playing.
Oh my god, see, this is exactly what he wanted. I don't think he wanted any of the coy kind of back and forth kind of stuff. I think he wanted to get directly to this point somehow. Well, he just repeated something he did in the very beginning of this chat exchange.
He's almost like, okay, maybe now I've put enough work in. Now I can go in where I wanted to.
He was like, oh, the other one, that was a faux pas.
Yeah, mulligan.
Blushes, kisses back. All right, you're not that bad of a kisser. Smooches back more.
Thank you, beautiful. Kisses sliding in his tongue. Oh, God. Seriously, who would even write that?
In a public view of everything.
Oh my god. It's like he's trolling. You wouldn't even say that during genuine, like, not that I'm some sort of expert, but you wouldn't even say that during some sort of exchange digitally. Anyway, I see that you have nothing to add. Thank you, beautiful. Kisses, sliding his tongue. trying to see if he can curl your toes. So he's gonna shove his tongue in her mouth and try to curl her. He might curl her toes with the gag reflex. Oh man.
Toes curl a little.
Oh, now Jordan's telling her what her own body is doing.
Oh, yes.
Kisses deeper, making your heels turn into curly-toed slippers. I did it. That, you didn't do it, Jordan. You just said you did it.
I love this line.
He just decreed that, and it was so. Okay, yes, please.
Yeah, this next line is so good. Gets away. Hey, what? That was some sort of personal challenge? Deeply... Deeps breathly?
Deeps breathly.
Deeps breathly.
Wow, it's almost like she's having a meltdown. Okay. Just having some fun, my genie. I have no desire to offend you. Watches you breathe deeply. No, she's deeps breathly. Jordan, get it right. Okay.
Oh my god.
I wish that was intentional. Like she was making him having to correct things.
It is a cute little error typo. I love that. What's the build for? I don't know. I just wanted to make something. I was just in the mood and I didn't know what to make. And then I saw that there was a library and I was like, oh, I should make a library. Yeah. I'm trying to think of, I went to Austin last fall and this is not a big enough plot to do that, but I just really loved Austin's public library. It was beautiful and it was huge, but it was very efficient for the size of the land, like how big the actual plot was. It was a very vertical library, and if anybody ever happens to go to Austin, I like to go to public libraries of wherever I visit, and if anybody goes to Austin, you guys should check out the library, and also like pick up a souvenir to support local library too. So yeah, got cute little I got a very cute magnet that says keep Austin reading. But anyway, yeah, so I just kind of felt like inspired to make a library. Yeah. I love libraries. They're the best. I highly recommend everybody to get a library card and unironically go get your library card. And download Libby app. Libby's great. It is it's an app you can have on your phone or on your iPad so that you can read ebooks. It's pretty fucking awesome. If you go to Austin, yes, absolutely. You should definitely check out the apartment complex Lauren lived in. I believe there was like purple mold there. Yeah, it's pretty dangerous. Yeah, libraries are like cool. They are. They're the best. Get Libby. You just need a library card number and then can download movies and books onto your devices and read them for free. It's awesome.
Might be under your will, but I still have my dignity. Remember it.
Oh my god,
Master.
It should not get to this point.
I love how offended they are.
A comment exchange on DeviantArt.
Yeah, so this part of the library is going to be the
for
solarium.
A drawing of a genie that's not even, it's really not that salacious.
Yeah, it has big boobs.
It's got big boobs. That's about it.
But it's cutely drawn.
Breasts.
It's more of
You've got a big
cutesy
heart,
art style.
even bigger breasts.
Algún
Don't ask me which. I like bears. I don't know if you guys remember that. What an era.
For a drawing of a genie that's
This is
not
ridiculous.
even, it's really not.
I say that way too often. trap houses with terraforms of mold. Okay, I'm rewinding.
Deviant art for a drawing of a genie that's not even, it's really not that salacious.
Hold on.
Yeah, it has big boobs.
Let me pause this. What's the first book you've read this year, Guru? I just finished the companion novel to Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. Incredible literature. That I'm not familiar with. What did I read? I've read so much this year. I literally, like, I actually don't know how many books I've read this year. I'm currently, my boss just gave me a bunch of zines. Y'all should get some zines too if you're not familiar. But oh gosh, what book was that? Give me one moment.
It's got big boobs. That's about it.
But it's cutely drawn. It's more of
Let me look this up.
cutesy art style. In
My
my
history.
opinion, it's not necessarily something I would see in a smut mag or whatever. Or done it.
This conversation is damning in regards to how Jordan treats other human beings. Just in general, just how he treats other humans.
Tries to get them to do whatever he wants without any, work or payment involved. Like trying to get, a genie deviation drawn for him of a genie in a towel after being called out against her will from her lamp.
And I just read ahead a little, and he continues.
Okay, so what I'm reading currently, I actually just picked this up. Sorry, I had to pull up Libby, and then Libby needed to upload or update or whatever. But okay, so what I'm reading right now is called Blackout by Justin Torres. So how do I just? It's about. Here we go. This book contains accounts selected on the earliest 20th century from queer perspectives by a queer researcher, Jan Gay, whose groundbreaking work then co-opted by a committee, and her name was then buried. So it's basically just talking about archiving, reclamation of history, queerness. Yeah, I don't know how else to. It's pretty cool though. Let me look at a better synopsis because there's just a lot that happens and I'm so bad at explaining it. Okay. Historical fiction. This book uses historical documents, including the 1941 report, Sex Variants: A History of Homosexual Patterns by the Committee of the Sex Studies Variants. Yeah. It's just kind of all about history, ransacked history, and who takes the history and what do they do with it. Yeah, and it focuses on queerness. So, yeah. I've been reading a lot of books on queerness. Take it abroad, fuck off. Oh my god. Yeah. I'm trying to read more books on queerness. I worked Pride this past weekend, and we had some cute older trans ladies come through, and they were telling me about, one of them was talking about some book. I think it was called Warriors. I'd never heard of it though, but it's basically an interview style book. Fuck off, Zachy. It's basically a book that goes through and interviews with trans folks who had been at some sort of demonstration at the Capitol in Minneapolis a long time ago. And so that was something I needed to check out. I don't remember the name of it though off the top of my head. We wrote it down. Warrior Cats! Oh my god! It would be so fitting though. It'd be so fitting. That's funny. Yeah, I like to read a lot. I've read a lot this year, And I kind of want to. My goal is to read 100 books this year, and I feel like I'm pretty close, but I did lose count. So yeah. But yeah, use Libby. I'm looking at my Libby right now, and there's so much here. But anyway, okay, let's get back to the video. Sorry. Slothcat said, I forget Guru is one of those linguini people that like words in proper English. Not so much proper English, but I do like words. Oh yeah, guys, I think I'm gonna go back to school for to continue a degree in linguistics. So that'll be cool. I'm really excited. No, I think I'm going to try to. Yeah. You know what? Oh, wait, hold on. I'm being prompted to do a poll, which I think is kind of cute. Let's do a poll. How do I make a poll? That didn't even... Wow. It said, oh, here, learn how to make a poll, but then it didn't even let me do it. Whatever. Anyway, thank you. My reading schedule is inspiring. Yes, I try and read either 2 to 3 hours a day. I recommend, I'm going to plug reading, so people might leave, but whatever, I don't care. So treat reading like a skill. Do not go all into it. If you want to read, start with a chapter a day. Start with a couple pages a day, depending upon like what your attention span is, your timing, or like what time you have during the day. So start out smaller. Don't go all in. Don't be like, you know what? I haven't read a book since high school, so I'm going to read a book now. And I'm going to read all of it and da-da-da-da. No, just take your time, pace yourself like you're training for a sport or an instrument or something like that. You don't want to go all in at once. Just take your time and learn how to get into the rhythm of it and how to stay focused. And yeah, it's a skill. So I read a whole book in a day, then did nothing for months. There you go. Perfect. No, exactly. That does happen. You kind of get like burnt out, right? And also if you like don't want to read nothing for months, that's fine too. But yeah, just pace yourself with reading. Treat it like any skill. I fucking hate and could like go on and on and on about how public school, or not public, just the way that school systems are set up, especially in the United States, is not for students to actually like have fun and really engage with learning. It's kind of horse piss, and like basically there as sort of a means of, you know, whipping students into what the school thinks is necessary and right to do instead of meeting people where they're at. Yeah. Anyway, Saki said, I love reading. The comprehension is awful. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like that's the comprehension aspect is how, like, yeah, treat it like you're training. Like that's how you work on it. So, you know, if I now can read like 3 or more hours at a time. I did finish it. There was one day where my book was delivered at, I want to say 10 in the morning. And I literally didn't do anything else that day other than read and eat. And I finished it about midnight. And that is definitely something that like I couldn't have done when I started reading again. Because I've only been like reading for fun in the past 4 years. Yeah, it was like lockdown is what reignited my passion, because I was so fucking bored. And I had my Libby account and I was like, well, I guess I should do something. So I reread all of Hellboy. And reread and then also finished Hellboy and then the Frog Apocalypse. And that kind of kicked things off again. And now I just, can do as much or as little as I want. You wish there were fewer words. You know, Eel, have you tried like graphic novels? That I would count that as reading still. Graphic novels and comic books and manga, I would still classify as reading. Polynomial Purebred said horse piss is too kind. You read the Dexter series? Dexter as in like the serial killer? Is that a book series? Yeah, Hellboy is amazing. Hellboy is like holds such an important place in my heart. Like when I was a teenager, and then now having gone through lockdown and like all of the memories and cope and like comfort I found in Hellboy, it's like even more precious to me now. But yeah, precious to me. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I'll stop boring you guys with books and information. I feel like that's a prerequisite for being a librarian, is being a fucking book nerd, but whatever. Anyway.
Doing I don't think in roleplay you're supposed to be able to tell the other person what they're doing. That's like the kid on the playground who says, well, I have all the superpowers when you're playing, you know, superheroes or whatever the fuck. Yeah, let's continue.
Yeah, let's keep on going. All right. Did you already read Always Genie Kisses Your Hand?
Always Genie kisses your hand.
Blushes. Hee hee hee. You seem pretty touched, master. I assume that was meant to be touched.
Touchy or tough? I love that he even thought perhaps that she would have called him tough.
Oh, touchy. She says holy shit. Okay, sorry, go on.
Sassy.
Okay. You do blush a lot. Are you shy?
In parentheses, touchy. I'm sorry. I guess it's been a while since I talked with another person. So she's calling him touchy because he keeps grabbing her hand and kissing it and kissing her and violating her personal space. And it seems like she's retreated at least 2 times already and trying to steer the conversation into something that's a little more cutesy and removed from direct physical contact.
He said, I put my tongue
Ew.
in your mouth.
Ew.
Attempting to make your toes curl.
Oh my
On a
god.
public post.
Yeah.
A public deviation.
Of somebody who we assume could be a teen
They
artist.
could go to high school.
Yeah, we don't know exactly what her age is.
That's so
But we're gonna
disgusting.
find out.
I don't know how I'd find out.
No,
Actual
I don't wanna bother
demon.
this person.
I don't want to bother them either.
How many years were you in that lamp?
I don't know.
How many years were you
How
in that
is
lamp?
President Washington doing, by the way? Pretty brave man.
Oh my god, that's funny.
LOL! Exclamation point. That was 225 years ago.
Yeah.
Must
Oh
be
my
lonely living in
God.
that. Is it
I
cramped?
love that
Or is it
accent.
like a little apartment?
Or not accent, I'm sorry, the...
It has enough to get by.
I love the impersonation.
Rest. It's not a mansion, but it's what I can afford.
Must be long.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't looking at my chat. Okay, yeah, the book series. I did not know it was based off of... Or the serial killer novel series. I was unaware.
Only so long without.
Agatha Christie, yes! Polynomial Purebred. Did you see A Haunting in Venice? Did you see that movie from last fall?
Seeing a man. How much does a magic lamp cost?
This is stupid. Is he...
At least he stopped being sexual.
No,
for a
no, no,
minute.
no. He said so lonely without seeing a man. Well, why was that
Oh,
necessary?
okay, fair.
She's changed it to a conversation about a joke about how she's been kept in, the lamp and, stuff like that. And then he's talking about like, oh, it must have been a long time since you've seen a man.
Yeah.
Because he wants her to talk about how desirous she is or how uncontrollable her feelings are.
Hit
Okay,
it.
sorry, my line. Oh, it doesn't cost a thing, but it costs everything. Doesn't make a lot
Love
of
her.
sense for mortals.
Love
And
her.
yeah, it's been long time without male company.
Well, I am here now.
Oh, dear.
Steals a kiss.
Again.
Yeah, again, he forces her to do something.
Yeah, he takes something from her.
He takes something.
Well,
And
I'm
then she
here
says,
now. Took
You're lucky.
her piece.
You're a good kisser.
Which is basically saying I'm not happy with you continually stepping over your boundaries with this shit. You're not role-playing properly.
I
You're
see
using role-play.
She has an angry face.
She has an angry face beside that. It's shouting. It's a little
Yeah.
shouting emoji. But he's using roleplay basically as a guise under which he can just have sexual conversations with another person and also dictate what they're doing. because of how roleplay chat room dude is, how it is inherently set up. That sort of back and forth. He can be like, well, I stand you on your head, and, you know, then we do a bunch of gross sex acts from there. Anyway, is it my go? Or else kisses harder.
Tries to resist. Stop
oh, God.
it. Please.
Oh my god.
Stops resisting and kisses back.
Ew.
This is so gross.
It is. It's almost at the end, though. We're
Thank
almost done.
fucking God.
That's horrific.
Deep kiss. Well, if that's what you want.
Deep kiss?
Stops kissing and steps back.
I'm not hating on anybody. Yeah, I'm not hating on anybody who does roleplay, but oh my god, it always sounds so cringy. Like out of context, or like, yeah, it's so bad.
That's a really weird move because it looks like she's relenting and like that's part of the fantasy, even though
It's turning rapey.
It's turning really, yeah. Like, cause there's still some measure of power imbalance there, and it's just weird that that's his response. It seemed like that's what he wanted. Keep going, but I think he wants her to pursue him a little bit.
It's a
In a way.
dance.
It is. It is
Dance.
a dance. It's a disgusting dance.
This is a disgusting dance. Vile human being.
Plays with my hair. All right,
Literally
Yeah.
one of the
Thanks for
funniest
not abusing
people
of
or
her
couples on the
power.
planet.
master.
Very welcome. I wouldn't even try to wish for sex.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, did you have that in mind? Ugh, mortals. What's the deal with them?
What a way to end it. Holy cow.
I think maybe he got the point that she wasn't into it and she was like somewhat disgusted by it, so he finally retreated. I don't know where he picked that up.
Well, that is him. That is him forfeiting because he was trying for sex, and that is him throwing one last Hail Mary by saying,
It
"I won't
was.
even try for sex." Out of this slim
For sex,
hope
I am
that
not
she
coming.
might respond with, "Oh well, you know, it might go there, but that's not what's going to happen, and that is not what happened." I love her final response, and there's nothing else after that. I don't know if she blocked him,
I hope she did.
or if he just fucked off after this point.
I don't
Did you
know.
find any more comments from him on this person's DeviantArt?
I haven't, but I haven't scoured it, to be honest. I really haven't scoured it to see any other, like, contact they might have had with each other. I assume, like, they could have gone to, you know, personal messages, which I assume they should have gone to much earlier. But, I don't know if I would want to have... I think the purpose of her keeping it out here in the open is that he wouldn't get too gross.
Too gross with it, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that didn't work.
Poor thing.
That didn't work at all.
That poor girl.
So yeah, thank you for going through that exchange with me because I found it to be very insightful and a good example of how Jordan approaches a lot of his interpersonal relationships. They're not to make connections with people because he's interested in themselves, but
Right.
he's interested in what they can do for him or what they can give him. Either sexual gratification or something he can use to that end, such as drawings or something to fulfill his fantasy.
It likewise debunks his own argument that, well, if they tell me to stop,
I will, or I pay very close attention
he-
to their reactions. As soon as she resisted or whatever, you should have just split. In fact, you shouldn't have gone onto a
shouldn't have done this to begin
deviation.
with.
Yeah, you should have just left it at amazing, because that's the only criticism you're able to give somebody. But sure enough, if you had to direct something, you would have so many fucking requests and directions that you would have to give everybody. which we will also get into, is showing how he acts towards somebody he's done a trade with, and how demanding and ungrateful he is. However, I'm not sure that that's something for this video. We might save it for our live stream.
You know what? Those drawings are so fucking funny that maybe we should save it for a live stream.
I want to save it for a live stream because
Okay.
I really want people to have fun and enjoy them, because I found different depictions of Jorrun the Barbarian besides the
Throughout
one.
Unbelievable.
history, there have been
Besides the
different
one.
depictions of Jorrun the
Oh
Barbarian.
my god. So cringy.
I found more depictions of Jorrun the Barbarian that were not put inside of the dump.
All right, and that was part 2 of our ongoing series regarding Jorrun, deviant art, and his sexuality.
Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope that you return for our next installment in this series and in future streams that we will be doing.
And we will give you a heads up in advance when those streams will be happening so that we can all join together and have a fun time, laughing and joining.
Stay tiny and cute, everyone.
All right, there is one last genealogy video. Let's go.
All right, we're back.
On genies. Jorrun's obsession with genies is an uncommon one, the extent of which is
The book talk did scare people up. I don't care. It's fine. Books are great. I'm gonna
absolutely absurd.
evangelize about them as much as I can.
Sure,
You should
we've
write
seen the occasional sex
Zachy
and
the
cute
hard-boiled detective. Yeah, the breed seeker himself.
bikini costume during Halloween, but it is by no means a popular theme in pop culture or in internet trends. So why genies? Genies blend two very important components for Jorrun's sexual confidence, one being the need for a high level of fantasy, and the other a master-slave power dynamic. Genies, by Angelicized mythology, are magical entities imprisoned inside a lamp or bottle who grant wishes to the finders in the form of penance. They are often linked to stories of King Solomon, who's said to have had control over all animals and spirits on earth, the jinn/genies being lumped into this. There were some genies who did not follow his commands and defied him. Thus, they were imprisoned in these vessels until they were to grant the wishes of the humans who had released them.
That sucks.
This is tangential, but on the subject of King Solomon, who is spoken of as a womanizer and had a vast harem of over 1,000 women, bears a lot in resemblance to how Jorrun might perceive himself
Absolutely.
in some kind of way. Having a whole harem of genies instead of a whole harem of human wives and such.
I mean, there's a drawing of that, isn't there?
In his story of Jorrun, Jorrun
Oh my
writes of a
God.
genie being the easiest magical being to control. We already know that Jorrun desires women who do not challenge his authority, intellect, and sense of superiority. He actively thinks about how to manipulate them, and his infatuation with the idea of the genie makes this very transparent. Keeping in mind the concept of the genie being in punishment for their defiance, what does this say about how he perceives women, especially women who engage in genie-related banter with him? Just by dint of general genie mythology, I'm sure that he might not subscribe to that, but I do believe that he's had some sort of knowledge of like the stories of King Solomon.
Surely he
Especially,
must.
Yeah, he had
you know,
to
if
have.
he had some sort of like Judeo-Christian background
Yeah.
as well, because he's referenced religion a few times. Jorn is likely projecting his fantasy to subjugate women in sexual servitude to punish a specific woman who is likely narcissistic and domineering themselves.
His mom, I think, would be a person of interest to fill that role potentially, but we don't know enough.
I don't really know, and it could be a woman who might have
A woman?
you know.
The poetry actually, no, you know what? The poetry backs up your theory.
Do you think it's about mom? And
No, it backs up your theory as to it being a girlfriend or
it's
someone that broke his heart.
Yeah, it's some other female, I think. But that's not to say that there couldn't have been a parent in the household who was a covert narcissist. Since Jorn's value system is skewed disproportionately by the idea that he is always the victim and the one who suffers, and is passively self-righteous, he likely grew up feeling oppressed and humiliated in the exact way he treats the women around him. His short-lived arrogance and male self-confidence is a defense mechanism developed after years of being subjugated to the impulse of a woman he resents, at the very least, on a subconscious level. But it's probably a little more overt. On the other hand, it is possible that his mother figure was simply a covert narcissist that enabled
I just saw your comment, Kyle. Nice.
Jorn's moral center and overestimated his achievements, giving him a warped perspective of his skill level. Covert narcissists may appear introverted and humble, but will often use their children's success to validate their own image. As a consequence, whenever his self-value is in
Goddamn,
jeopardy,
won't let me.
Jorn becomes
Whatever.
threatened by the loss of emotional validation and will react strongly. He may have been humiliated by a woman in a romantic relationship and or frequently rejected before he developed his compulsive need to dominate women. This is all purely speculative, of course, but given Jorn's tendency to project blame and accountability away from himself when vulnerable, it is true that in his childhood, he had experiences which permanently affected his self-esteem and the type of validation he needs to receive. So, returning to the subject of Jorn's genie obsession, it is entirely possible that Jorn is so fixated on genies that his concept of BDSM revolves around free-form wish-making. What has Jorn experienced, or rather, not have experienced for him to be so obsessed with literal wish fulfillment as a sexual fantasy? One could presume that Jorn had an ordinary childhood governed by an overbearing parental figure, with reruns of I Dream of Jeannie being his only refuge from an unrealistic set of expectations to fulfill. Or it could be due to his own discomfort or inexperience in sexual relationships with women, and that all requests, wishes, and commands are a protective barrier around his own ego and serve to deflect anything which could potentially threaten his often short-lived confidence. As proven by
Amazing, amazing analysis here, people. This is why I love this one. Hey, Viral! Hello, bestie. Hi. Hey, yeah, everybody. I just got done having a good... Oh my god, rubbing session with my lamp. It is so, so good to have you in here, Viral.
his obsessive collecting and commenting of genie material, Jorn's fantasies are very specific. He will often suggest genie poses, high heels, high ponytails, and hoop earrings, as this aesthetic is the one he revisits in his mind on a constant basis. As shown in the mac and cheese chat log, he even has a gold high heel, a very important detail for
Oh,
his
I
dream
forgot
genie to
about the
fulfill.
fucking... Oh my god.
But it also seems that any genie will do.
Hmm.
Even in depictions of genies most wanting an execution, he leaves sexualized comments. When he's commenting on said genie art, there is never an acknowledgement of the artist's skill, or a compliment about the art. It is either sexy, cute, or hot. He offers nothing in the way of feedback and assumes any genie image is there for his viewing pleasure. He once organized a contest with another DeviantArt user who is also a genie fetishist. In this contest, he calls for users to submit their original characters, genies, or otherwise genified to be selected and redrawn to be put into Jorran's harem. He seemingly isn't paying any commissions for this, unless the user running this contest is getting money for doing redraws, in which case, what is the purpose of having a contest if you're paying somebody to draw you content? Ownership. Jorran wants ownership of females, real or fictional, and to gain gratification for acquiring more subjugated depictions of women, and gets excited by the idea they were once owned by another person before becoming his.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's an interesting little tidbit that he prefers them to have been pre-owned genies.
I don't know if he necessarily prefers that, but this contest, it asks for people to submit their own original
Hello,
characters
Heisenberg White.
become
Welcome.
genius.
Yes, and it's
Welcome,
like,
welcome.
well, what's the point of having
Dormageddon
these
is
characters
nigh.
be drawn if the artist who
Yeah.
is redrawing them could simply just draw random genies for him? That's not good enough.
Because, and I'll tell you why, I think it's the act of genification. I think he enjoys genifying a character.
Oh, definitely, 100%.
That's his kick in so much as or in regards to something like that.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree with that. There are a couple of deviations where women are being like genified against their will unexpectedly,
Oh
and
my
that's like part
God.
of the fantasy. Like they'll just happen upon a genie lamp, and an evil genie will come out and turn them into a genie.
Hold
and
on.
and then they have
So like a transformation thing, right? Because that is a thing I newly learned about, and it's horrifying. That's also very much so like a, yeah, like a non-consensual incident that'll happen to a woman. That's horrifying.
to be a sexy genie for eternity.
Oh no,
Yeah.
that's terrible.
Yeah, and they're very scantily clad, of course, or they're very helpless. We can go through a few of those deviations if you would like.
How about we put them on the screen right about now?
So this image,
Hold on, let me
which will
pause this.
probably
Okay. Let me pause the game for a moment so you guys can see these images. Holy fuck. It's so bad. Oh my god. Sorry. Okay. Oh my fucking god. Look at that. Look at that. Look at how horrible that looks. Oh my god. Hello? Oh my gosh. Okay.
we have to censor a little bit.
Oh my god, it looks like PS1 graphics. Maybe PS2.
I think they're slightly better. They're
they're
more like
alright.
PS2, maybe PS3, but
No, not.
no, this is more like something like a PC game. Because this was created, obviously.
I am so sorry.
Okay, so now
Using a program. But
so
this
crazy
whole
looking.
series, there's a series of these.
it's of genification.
It's
let
a
me,
process.
Let me bet.
Yes, it's an entire genification thing. So the naked one, she went out swimming in the beach and she found this lamp.
Oh, God.
And she set this genie out, and it turned her into a pink genie, and that's why this is called the origins of the pink genie. as a story.
This whatever this is, there needs to be a stop put to it. Sexy genie.
Yeah, nothing about anything with, the skill of the art or anything about the composition or other principles of the art. Nope. Just sexy genie boobies.
For some reason, he talks about one of the other commenters who is not the original poster. He's like, Genie Girl is a nice girl. But I think that's just because their name is Genie Girl. They had to he had to make some sort of remark towards them, regardless of their involvement in this.
Oh, it looks like this
sorry, this
person
is very loud. Apologies.
doing some role playing related to the image on the screen.
I'm so sorry about that volume.
I can't even
so
handle all that right now.
She's enacting out the story of the origins of the genie.
Oh my, stop.
She might have written it too, and this other person illustrated it. Because those things happen. But he doesn't really comment on the story. He just says that this person is a nice girl because she's making fat material for him. Inadvertently.
Oh, thank you, honey. Alright, so where are we going from here?
Maybe I have another one for you.
Man, it really sucks for Jordan that DeviantArt doesn't delete your comments.
Sexy
that's
genie.
Kinda fucked.
Sexy genie. I mean, like, how many comments do you think are scattered throughout the internet of him saying shit like that?
Oh my god.
People have found so many.
That just sucks, bro. You think you can just burn everything, but
Oh man.
there it is. You just got a line through your name now.
All right, this is a genification thing here, as well.
It looks like it was drawn by a 13-year-old boy.
Okay, hold on.
I mean, the boobs are very well drawn.
Guys,
What the fuck
They have
is
a
that?
special
Look at this.
attention to 'em. I don't
Look
know
at
why
this.
they're topless.
Traced. Those boobs were traced.
Based off of
He loved it. Oh, you know he
depiction of
loved
the
it.
harem pants, I would agree.
Can you read to me what they're saying, please?
It
And our viewers.
the big genie with the ponytail says, "Ha, I got you now. Get used to spending the rest of your life in here." And she's like, "No, please."
Oh my god.
As she's getting sucked inside of a genie bottle, giant boobies bared.
It looks like a drawing that a 13-year-old boy made, Xeroxed, and handed out to his friends. Sexy pants and shoes.
Of which are comprised of some squiggly, shapeless lines. Like the other parts of the drawing show a little more understanding of human anatomy, which are more deserving of compliments. And I'm not talking about the boobies necessarily.
Unbelievably horny.
But it's a very distinct style this person has, and they definitely know how they're specifically drawing each part of it. But the pants and the shoes are where it gets lost for me in it. It just seems like a very funny comment to make, but those are part of Jordan's fantasy that he looks for. He's looking for specific shoes. He likes the curly-toed shoes or high heels, but they must be gold.
And he's compelled to leave a comment no matter what. If it's genie related, and doubly so if it involves one of his many fetishes.
Yes, and like I said, there's no actual compliment to the art or the artist here. It just says sexy pants and shoes. That doesn't mean that, oh, these are well drawn, or you did a good job. Thanks for your hard work. Great job on your lettering.
Yeah.
Shit like that. On the subject of bottling women. So this is related to the subject of genification.
Oh, and I do remember that I've got something to add for this. So when
Yes.
you have a break in your reading there, please let me know.
Based on comments found on DeviantArt and a few other sites, Jorn also has a very specific fantasy around genie bottles and has curated a proud collection of his own, both digitally and in real life. It is not simply enough
wait, I
that
gotta
a
show you
female
guys.
has to be submissive and obedient to her master, but for Jorn, it also is really desirable that she bottles up. In here lies a multiplicity of meanings.
Is that genification terminology? I'm bottling up.
I'm not sure. I feel like
I want my genie to bottle up.
I feel like I've heard people refer to that in comments while I've been like looking for stuff. A bottle itself is highly symbolic of the female form, both in design and in function, but can also serve as a metaphorical and literal restraint device. So, I've got a comment of Jorn at one point saying like how sexy it is that a genie is offering her bottle.
For what exactly?
Like she's giving it to her master, which is almost like offering up your genitalia for sex,
But I
or
thought
your
the
body for sex.
I thought the genie's master had to rub the bottle anyway.
Yeah, but he also likes the idea that it's
Nope,
just being
no,
presented to him.
Because
She wants to be enslaved by
she
him.
wants. Thank you. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So we'll
Goddamn,
pull
why is
that
this
up on the
working?
screen as well. And like a bottle. It's a very female object because it has a round opening and it's a vessel which holds other things, which is symbolic of like the female reproductive organs or the uterus. Like it can represent fertility. There's a lot of different things going on with the idea of the bottle. Once he's objectified a woman he considers as less important, such as a relatively unknown person in a community, Jorn doesn't care to talk to them outside of the sexual relationship. So that's a wink wink nudge nudge mac and cheese. Once he's gratified, or when she is no longer beneficial to him, he wants the ability to put her away. He doesn't want to have to deal with anything else about her, and it is only on his terms. The satisfaction of a bottled genie could also represent the desire for the woman to restrain or confine herself within the grotesque and limiting confines of his expectations. And in this fashion, he can compartmentalize the relationship to make room to grow his harem.
Damn.
Jorn's fantasies about genie bottles aren't just a metaphor, though. It can be very literal, and he seems to more than enjoy seeing them inside of their vessel. Bottling a genie and entrapping her there for an unspecified amount of time is cruel to fantasize about, and is convenient as folding up a blow-up doll. This is how disposable women are to Jorn, and how much he expects them to serve his needs. His uninvited advancement on women invites a parallel to the masturbatory idea of rubbing a genie's lamp or bottle to arouse her from her entrapment. Jorn, according to his own admissions in the prequel Apology calls his flirtation and predation of women as an art or a craft. While Jorn obsessively attempts
I forgot he said that.
to awaken the sexual genie from the feminine frigidity of his interactions with women, the irony of such a fruitless action is lost upon himself. He is hoping that with each attempt, he will at last find a genie to serve his needs and obey his every request, oblivious that his treatment of women is the very thing making them so unattainable to him.
I thought I had more to say about this, but first let me lead in with a question.
Yes.
During your research,
Yes.
is it true that you found an overlap between genie fetishists and vor fetishist.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of an overlap there.
Ugh,
A lot
Lord.
of the artists who Jorn interacted with that had bottling themes or confinement
here.
themes,
Hold
where
on.
a character is squished into a
Here's the
glass
definition of
containment
vor.
jar or similar type container. They also did drawings of vor
On it.
related subjects where a woman is being eaten by a monster, but not like necessarily chopped up and eaten, like not masticated and chewed up. It was like they were entirely whole inside of their belly.
Yeah, they're consumed whole, and then they
Yes.
just live inside the belly, and that's
Yes.
what vor is. I already put it up on the screen
Yes.
when I mentioned
And
the
some-
definition, but
And some other general inflation things like
Oh,
body
God.
manipulations, things
yeah,
like that.
extreme body, what most would call body horror, but it's extreme body modifications and stuff of that nature. Oh, let me add to
Horrifying.
the vor
Yes.
thought. Do you recall in the Joran live streams of the Lorne Armstrong interrogation footage, and a couple of times, at least twice, do you recall when Joran was trying to force the meme of Lorne Armstrong being an ogre?
Yes.
And do you recall, on more than one occasion, him making mention of Lorne eating little girls?
Yeah, like Lorne the ogre eating little girls, because that's what ogres do. It's pretty weird.
Are you nervous being here in the presence of an obvious ogre? Are you fearful I might start eating you at any time? Should the pizza... Should the... I'm sorry.
Why does he laugh like that? Why did he laugh like that? It's so fucking weird, man.
So this is an image
God.
from a social media platform where one of Jordan's screen
Okay, let
names
me-
is being credited for inspiration for it. It is by a cosplayer and model.
You can't
and
really see. I don't know why.
Apparently, they've had some sort of correspondence.
You think Joran fapped to that?
Wait, what Lorne news? Guys, I have not consumed any Lauren media at all. I will occasionally pop into a friend stream just to be supportive, but I straight up like don't know anything that's happening with Lauren. What's going on? Did he die? Or are you just being goofy? Could you imagine if he passed away? Oh my god, please perish eternally. We don't need you anymore. Okay, I'll push play.
I don't know. I don't
What
know.
do you mean you don't know?
I don't really know.
Shut
I
up,
can't say
Zachy.
it's all speculative.
I would bet my kidneys on it. Both of them. All my kidneys.
She also, as a model, appears pretty young. Don't know her exact age. I assume that she is of legal age. But she is pretty young, and he's reacted to some of her other images, too. But this is the one I would rather
What?
focus on because it's the...
Lauren, is it? He's going to be a dad or is a dad? No fucking way. No fucking way. No, that's not real. When Lauren murdered 20 people and being considered for president. I mean, I don't know. Oh my god, getting observation. I'm at Walmart. Oh my god, that's horrifying. If y'all could link me that info, you can DM me. I did not know that. You don't believe it? Who's the fucking source for that? Like, actually, who's the source? The baby is born already. So, like... Okay. So you don't think it's his. The baby was already born. This is very interesting. I literally, like, again, have not been around and had no idea. That's crazy.
One that he requested and
It's so claustrophobic.
The Canadian? Oh my god. Oh, this is juicy. Absolutely juicy. Well, whoever's, if somebody's lying about it, like, what if I, like, thank you. Anyway, because this is good. That's fucking juicy and funny. I don't have a lot of knowledge, but I don't care. The same psychos who visited that one time made a Patreon scam us. Oh, yeah. Right. Pink Girl. I remember her coming into the Discord server. Okay. James Nixon is his public defender. Lauren believes it is. In his court hearings to get off probation, they mention he wants to move to Canada to be with the mom and the baby. Oh my god. No way. No fucking way. Oh man. Okay. That is... Well, maybe I'll have to do a Lauren stream again. Interesting. Holy shit. Oh my god, that's brilliant.
So this is not their best image in their portfolio.
I would
You know,
hope not.
like, sure, the idea is cute, but to execute it really well is really, really hard. And there's much better examples of their model.
There are documents? Did somebody post these in COD's Discord? Because let me go check. Honestly, if that's true, I might make a new Lauren stream. I know it's been so long. If that's true, I will straight up make like a whole channel in the server for those documents. Lord of the Flies. So in court documents, this fool said that he has a child with somebody in Canada and wants to meet up with them. Okay, I see. Fucking idiot. That's amazing.
Modeling and of photography, because they're not the photographer themselves. I assume they have somebody doing all of it for them and they're just the model for it.
Yeah, I ain't gonna shit on their photoshopping or whatever. All I'm going to comment on is that it's not one of those genie situations where they have their own little apartment.
No, it's never depicted like that.
It looks like some form of torture.
Yes, they just sit there expectantly.
She can't even lay down.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe she can sort of curl up in the fetal.
They're talking about this, but I actually can't. It's not being shown on screen. So I'm not really sure what they're talking
Position, but then, like, squirm her way back up. It's going to cause deformities.
about. Oh, no. Okay, Viral, I didn't know that. It's a meat market? Damn. I have been slacking on modding this server, to be honest. I'm just kind of, like, tired and, like, weary. I didn't really want to deal with it. What kind of... Y'all should, DM me about this stuff. Yeah, and just in general, guys, if anybody fucking starts spamming shit again, like, let me know. I think I know who you're talking about. Because this has been a problem. Oh. Like, this is one of those things where it's like, I feel stupid and kind of, like, ridiculous for being like, this is a Lauren-free part of the sub. But, like, I don't know. Anyway, okay, whatever. Sorry.
after
Yeah.
a while of living like that.
Yeah, and another thing to bring up too is like this isn't like a term I've used before, but the way that genies are depicted, they're really just prisoners. And it's
Absolutely.
creepier to think about it that way, and I just hadn't had that thought before.
Joran the prison guard.
The warden. I'm gonna show you another creepy image, if I may, of like bottled genies that are even
Sure.
more uncomfortable and maybe questionable.
Awesome. Okay, so that appears to be a schoolgirl, a Japanese schoolgirl,
Yeah, some sort of Japanese schoolgirl character.
and she is full on filling the bottle. Like it reminds me of the troll website Bonsai Kittens. Do you know
Yes, definitely. I remember that.
that? Okay, so
I thought it was real. I was so upset.
Okay.
I was like,
Sorry, I
crying
just spent
and
like
shit.
I just looked through literally every
I was like
channel in
16
there. I should
years old.
probably
What was I
unmute it.
supposed to believe?
I have it
I was a
muted.
teenager and
Except for
How long did
only
you think it was
mentions.
real for?
I don't know. But my friends and I debated about it, and I think they convinced me that it wasn't real.
Something else that comes to mind, and I'm not sure if this speaks more ill of me or of Joran, but when I see these sort of what it apparently is referred to as bottling images, I can't help but think of the My Little Pony cum jar.
Oh,
Excuse
Jesus.
me?
Is that, it's an uncomfortable question, but is that an appeal here?
The
with
what?
this bottling stuff? Is there ever any fluids inside the
I'm
bottle? Or is it
I'm
just
unfamiliar
the
with whatever the
enclosed,
fuck they're
claustrophobic
talking about right
nature
now.
of the genie?
It is definitely
A cum jar for My Little Pony.
not with fluid
My
in
Little
it.
Pony people
I've
are
never
also
seen one,
degenerate
at least
freaks.
not in my.
Well, people that are
So
into
that's
it
only-
like sexually, I should
That's
say. not
only
just,
you,
like,
but
know,
I
adults and
understand
children who
why
like to
you
watch
think
the
that.
show.
Every time I look at a jar, I think of that now, honestly. But
Okay, maybe it's the
the
My Little
Little
Pony
Pony
cum
being-
jar that fucked me up,
I
and
think
it's not
that's-
me.
no, I think it's the jar, the My Little Pony cum jar thing. But if you just think about the idea of the pony itself being inside of the jar, without having any seminal fluid in there, it is very genie-like in nature. I feel like we should save the other ones
Okay.
for that. I could share another one.
No, let's save
They're kind of fucked up, and I don't.
let's
wanna-
save some real fucked up ones for the stream.
Yes. So there is a lot on there is a lot for the fetish of the genies being inside of the bottle, which of course makes
That's
me
crazy
immediately
viral.
imagine that the bottle.
Don't look
that
it up.
he
Yeah, no,
has
I'm
in
not.
his
I'm definitely
apartment,
not. That's
he
so
thinks of
fucking
it
nasty.
having a genie inside as well.
Thank you,
Fucking
Zachy.
weirdo.
I appreciate you
just-
spamming the
I just thought it was
Discord.
like decoration at first, that was in theme, and like, oh, it's just, it's some sort of genie lore type item I could have around or whatever. No, but he would probably literally envision,
Genies being inside of
Yes.
them. Yeah.
Ooh.
which leads me to my final topic here, and that is Joran struggles with sex addiction. So first, I'd like to
Imagine
preface
being
that
a
this is
sexless
my
sex
opinion
addict.
based off of my experience with Joran's documented behaviors and actions and the information available online about sexual addiction. There is some debate between psychologists and mental health professionals as to whether or not sexual addiction is a condition that can be successfully diagnosed and treated without accidentally demonizing normal sexual behaviors. It is not listed in the DSM-5, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual
Yo, let's go
of
DSM-5.
Mental Disorders. With this in consideration, sexual addiction or hypersexuality is described as a condition
No, yeah,
in which
okay,
a patient has recurrent,
Done with the bathroom.
intense
Done with the bathroom,
sexual
Guru.
fantasies,
Stop messing with the bathroom.
urges, and or behaviors which consistently interfere with other activities and obligations. Behaviors which occur in response to dysphoric mood states, such as anxiety, depression, boredom, irritability, or stressful life events. The patient may also engage in consistent but unsuccessful efforts to control or reduce sexual fantasies, urges, or behaviors, indulge in sexual behaviors while disregarding the potential for emotional or physical harm to self or others, and the frequency or intensity of sexual fantasies, urges, or behaviors can cause significant distress or impairment. So I cited a website on here. This is for your knowledge.
Jordan's genie fetish, from what we've seen, appears to check off everything on that list.
Regardless of whether or not it is officially recognized by mental health professionals, what we can say is that Jordan exhibits almost all of these behaviors. He has enabled an obsessive and destructive genie/slave girl fetish for decades.
True.
He has repetitively approached women with an unwanted and highly sexualized demeanor, all of which interfered with his ability to make healthy and sincere interpersonal relationships.
Very true.
Both romantic and platonic. Jordan always uses sexual advances and conversations as a way to increase his own self-worth, wherein he must always be the master, and even demonstrates this in talking about women and sexual conquests with other men. Now, I cannot say if these actions coincide with dysphoric mood states, which would make him crave an endorphin high from engaging in sexual behavior, but Jordan engages in a large amount of narcissistic behaviors which likely stem from issues of poor self-esteem. He often uses sex and the objectification of women as trophies in order to compare himself to male figures who threaten his ego. As you can see in the Apology Call series on the Jordan Comedy YouTube channel, Jordan famously fails to comprehend how he hurt others with this continued behavior or how to empathize with those he had victimized. The last and most disturbing point in reference to Jordan's obsessive genie fantasies are the pictures of little girls dressed as genies he has interacted with online.
No.
The Jordan dump features a rather prominent picture, which he had liked, and there are several pictures of young girls on DeviantArt he had also commented on. We can absolutely identify that he had looked at these pictures, liked them, and even commented on them. When questioned about this behavior by Westmost, Jordan deflected, minimized, and lied. He tried to excuse it by saying, "Look at me, I'm doing something nice by liking this photo," even though all of his previous behavior was admitted by him to be over-sexualized and objectifying. This is an example of Jordan rationalizing that what he was doing was okay. He admitted to Wes that he would have never told anyone about liking the pictures of those little girls, showing that he knew what he was doing at the very least
Jesus.
was questionable. He has also confessed to having masturbated to images of girls that were... Remember that? He has also confessed to having
said that. It's so dark when you say it.
like a blank news reporter. He also confessed to having masturbated to... Why are you losing it?
Stop reading it like that.
I can't. How am I supposed to read it?
I don't know. Oh, close my ears. Just get through it. Just go to the next line.
No.
They're so funny.
He also confessed to having masturbated to... What's wrong? He also confessed to having masturbated to images of girls that were projected to be 17 to 18 years of age, but could neither identify their age in all honesty and could not deny if they were 14, 15 years of age.
Jesus Christ.
We already know that women dressed as genies in a non-sexual context are immediately sexual for him. By equivalating past documented behaviors and serious admissions of Jorn with these pictures of young girls he has responded to, what does this say about him? Sexual predators almost never want to believe that is what they are. We can only hope that he endeavors in his mental health treatment and learns how to recognize and control these desires. Yeah, I get it. But yeah, I think we can all agree that his behavior is obsessive. It's been damaging. It's gotten in the way of more important things in his life.
Yep.
It caused us to make a YouTube channel. It's literally ruined his life. That's what it did. It ruined his life. He is... I can't even imagine being Jorrun.
You know,
You got people making videos about your sexual behavior that are over 2 hours in length, conducting interviews with the people who you were in a comedy troupe with. It's amazing, really.
The other thing I'd like to bring up is how intentional his responses and his comments are, because they will change according to who he's talking to. If he's talking to a guy who's making content, he'll approach them way differently from a woman who is dressed like a genie.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
He does not treat people equally whatsoever.
No, and there's always a component of what can I get out of this? What can I get them to do for me? Even if he's not overtly thinking of that, he's subconsciously doing it. Because there is an instance where you can see that he knows that he's commenting on the genie thing, and he has to, because it's almost compulsive. But this particular genie deviation or picture is not in an appropriate context for him to make a lewd comment, so he changes the way that he would normally interact with it. I think I could probably bring that up.
Boom, it's on the screen now.
This is a very normal image. I've shown you this before, of a family dressed in a themed costume.
Oh God, guys,
the entire
hold on,
family
let me
is
hide
dressed
this.
as pirates, as you can see.
And she's a genie.
Yes, but the person who made the post, put up this deviation, is not the person in the genie costume. It is one of the other girls that's posting it. And
Okay.
all right, and we're gonna see how Jorrun responds to that.
Great family pic and costuming. Although I can't see what kind of shoes the genie is wearing. Any chance you got pictures of the genie sister with shoes or in wish-granting poses?
What
Jesus
the
Christ.
fuck?
All right. So the person who's posting this would have no idea what reason Jorrun could be asking for this stuff. It's kind of pervy to be asking about the sister, like, dressed up as a genie, and doesn't...
I want to see her shoes.
He knows that I have to acknowledge
Seriously.
the rest of the family, so I said, great family photo!
Now get the fuck out of the way so I can talk about...
Yeah, move this pumpkin so I can see your fucking feet. Yeah, and he knows that he is not in the context to be completely, like, he can't say hot, he can't say sexy, he can't make over-sexualized comments, because that would be wrong, and he knows the difference here.
It's
It's
insidious.
not like he's... Yes, and so when he talks in a context where it's considered to be expected almost, such as right here is the deviation.
Here's a deviation.
So this is
I'm showing it on
pretty
my screen
classy
right now.
looking.
It's classy, but it's also, kind of sensual.
A little sexy.
Yeah, and this is somebody who clearly does a lot of modeling. They do a lot of cosplay and other things. They also tag their images with bikini girl, cleavage, slave girl. So they understand exactly the demographic that's going to be looking for this. So they know what they're signing up for here. Jorah knows that it's okay to make, a sexualized comment.
He could just unleash.
And granted, all he says is
Perfect.
because there's nothing wrong with this fantasy for him.
No, he doesn't need to add anything to this. He doesn't need to request shoes or anything. Although I'm surprised he didn't request shoes for this one. But he's just this was perfect.
Yes, and it's funny because he goes to images where it's clearly not being posted for any sort of sexual fantasy. It's literally a family photo.
Yeah, that's fucking unhinged.
And even though the costume is like an I Dream of Jeannie costume and it has a bared midriff, there's nothing like super sexual about that whatsoever. It looks like a really faithfully rendered costume, and that's all it is from all, intents and purposes. I don't know if I should use that word. And it's one of the things that bothered me the most when I was going through all of these comments and all of these deviations is seeing how differently he would react to different contexts in which genie media is being presented.
Yeah.
And so as far as him claiming that he's stupid in some ways, but he's not so stupid in others. He's not as foolish to think that these things were just okay and he was just being, socially obtuse.
He knows how, where, and when to be lewd.
Yes, and he knows what counts as inappropriate.
What flies under the radar, what he can get away with, and still pushes the envelope even then. But
asking for pictures of the genie shoes and
What the
for the sister to be in wish granting poses, and the other chick who actually put up the picture of her and her family, she's dressed like a pirate. She's like, what the fuck, this is
she
gross.
could be further removed from genies in her own attire, and he's talking about someone that they might not even live together
at this point anymore,
or even at the point that photo was posted, or who knows what the situation is. And he's like, can you get more from her? I am so exhausted.
I'm pretty tired too.
I don't have anything to really add in closing. I feel that was perfect.
Just want to let you guys know we didn't blow our load on Jorah and genie stuff. Definitely did not exhaust all of our tire coupons. So we will be providing even more genie pics that he's and his reactions to them in a stream, so we can go over them in further detail and re-examine some of the points that we might have made earlier in this video.
Be on the lookout for that stream soon. I will even be making a trailer for it.
We're gonna have to have a lot of stuff queued up for that.
Oh, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna be a mess. Thank you everyone for joining us here today.
All right, folks.
And you're great.
All right, folks. That is that. That is the Joran and DeviantArt thesis in genealogy, parts 1 through 3. Part number 4 is their live stream, and I would encourage you to go watch that and check it out. It is incredible. It is fucking hilarious. I will probably actually watch that now once I'm done streaming. So thank you everybody for hanging out. It's been so cool to be back, and yeah, there's gonna be a lot more coming up soon. I'll have to check in on old Lorne, see how he's doing, and apparently thinks he's a father, and mentioning it to the court is crazy. Thank you, Kyle. Yeah, appreciate everybody. Have a good afternoon. And, oh yeah, right, there's like a holiday this week. So if you have the holiday off, I hope you have a lovely one. If you don't, sorry. But yeah, all right. Bye.
I've waded through the walls of winter. I've watched the cherry blossoms bloom. I cannot wait here any longer. I'm leaving at the rising of the moon. I know what lies beneath Manhattan. I know who's buried in Grant's tomb. I wonder if they'll wait a while to clear away my crocodile. I'm leaving at the rising of the moon. They always ask me about Pravda. It's just the Russian word for truth. Your consciousness is not my problem. 'Cause when I come home, I won't be home to you. Your Uncle Henry lived in Moscow. Young Ludmila lived there too. Irina grew up in Wisconsin. I'm leaving at the rising of the moon. The final moments in the doorway. The sacred light of afternoon. Something starts to shake the leaves. You tug on the t-shirt sleeves and shiver to the rising of the moon. They always ask me about Pravda. It's just the Russian word for truth. Your consciousness is not my problem. 'Cause when I come home, I won't be home to you. I took the family balalaika. The strings would never